Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Survivor Podcaster Draft for Survivor 46. I'm Rob Cesternino, and we've got a big night planned here tonight as we are getting ready to draft the 18 contestants participating in Survivor 46. Very excited to have everybody here with us today. Let's welcome in the panel. Let's go around the horn and start to my right, of course, a man who is maybe a little peeved tonight. It's Taryn Armstrong.
I'm pet peeved, Rob.
Pet peeved.
You know why?
I know.
Of course you know, because everyone knows. The second the interviews dropped, everyone knew. Everyone was saying it. Where are the pet peeves? Where are they? Why don't we have the pet peeves? It's almost bigger than every single Big Brother Canada tweet being like, where are the feeds out under it? It's like, where are the pet peeves? And they're not there.
But you're here, Taryn Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yes. She just got done recording the B&B preview for the season. It's Dr. Liana Boris.
Yes, thank you. If 2 hours wasn't enough on the B&B, I'm here for more. Let's do this, baby.
Yes. Okay. The excitement is palpable for more Survivor 46 preseason content from Liana.
You got to have it. You need it.
You got to have it. Okay. Of course, taking a slight break from his work on Recap Kickback, it's Chappelle.
Hey, what's up, Rob? Thank you for having me back for another draft. I hope I don't get grenaded again.
That's
all.
Yes.
That is my win condition today. I do not want the grenade. I don't care who wins the damn season. I just don't want the grenade. I want to prove that it's possible for me not to get the person who quits first. So
yeah,
let's just play it out. But
okay.
Please, y'all, if y'all could take this grenade for me, I'd be so appreciative.
Okay. Of course, a titan of international Survivor podcasting. Please welcome in Shannon Gus. Shannon, how are you?
I mean, I'm great. I certainly haven't been, waking up in a cold sweat for months thinking about coming on as the only non-winner. But Chappelle, if you don't want the grenade, stop offering to take it.
Okay, listen, that's neither here nor there.
We're going to talk about it.
I'm rooting for you to win something. Not this draft, though, but good luck.
Okay.
What else have I entered into?
I don't know.
We'll see. All right. And then, of course, then taking a break from the traders, it's Please and McKinley. Please, how are you?
Pumped, excited, elated. Always a good time doing the draft, Rob, whether it's a win or a loss. But I can say that because I've won, so I know how both sides feel.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, Pooya, great to have you here. Okay. Let me address last season's winner, Asia. She drafted D, and we were all excited for her to be back here tonight to go back to back. Unfortunately, she could not be with us for the draft here tonight. Work calls. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us for the draft night. We scheduled the draft night. She couldn't get out of a work commitment. So Asia is with us in spirit. She sent us her list of the draft order. You could, of course, still hear her every week on covering Married at First Sight with Jason Reed. But she could not be with us here tonight, and the show must go on. So in Asia's place, I will be drafting. Yeah.
Rob.
Yes. Now, Sim said that this was a power move by Asia to
I do the same.
win and drop the mic.
Right?
Either way,
Yeah.
It is pretty baller. It's
I
pretty
should have done
baller.
this.
I think,
I've
like
had
all of
3
us, she
grenades
just
since.
wanted to make sure that there was one more person that could win that wasn't Shannon.
Asia's as mean as the rest of you.
Imagine being the only, like, there are 6 people in the draft and you are the 7th person to win, and everybody has only won once. Isn't that crazy?
Sounds like you're all rigging it for Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to be too mad at it.
I'm sure you'll take his grenade, Chappelle.
Okay.
So,
All right. So we will give you the draft order. We will go through 3 rounds of drafting here tonight. All 18 players will be drafted here tonight. Of course, happy to have you here with us live for this podcast. Shout out to everybody who's here watching. Chappelle bet me before the show we couldn't get 46 likes for Survivor 46. I told him we could get that standing on our heads, but we'll see who ultimately wins that bet. We also had a big podcast that we dropped in the last 24 hours, the 5,000th episode of Rob Has a Podcast. I got to sit down with Jeff Probst back here. 30 minutes to talk to Jeff Probst. Really tried to come up with a very insightful interview, which got distilled to about 4 words on Twitter today. And so you may have heard a little bit about that. I did something I've never really done before. I wrote a blog post about my thoughts on 5,000 and the reaction to that a little bit. I posted that up. It's up for free for anybody to read on Patreon. They've got a kind of a cool feature that you can just like post articles there. And so I wanted to put down my thoughts there. If you want to read any of that, that's available for anybody to read at robasawebsite.com/patron. Okay. Should we get to our order here tonight? Oh, of course, Wednesday night, I'll be live with Frannie from Survivor 44 after the episode. Join us at, I believe it's a 2-hour episode. So what would that be? 10:15 p.m. Eastern before we have exit interviews. Steven, the whole shebang coming. Make sure you subscribe. robasawebsite.com/subscribe. Okay. Are we ready for Sam? Could I get the draft order that has been faxed in here tonight?
Are we not going to talk about the rules at any point?
No.
You want to reset the rules, Shannon?
I mean, there are some questionable rules. So I just feel
There
like
are not.
There are actually.
We'll entertain it.
Let's go to Shannon Gus to reset the rules of the winner-take-all draft.
I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, and I think you know it. The first part that I just want to get it out there, and then we can never talk about it ever again. Explain to me, season 42, Jackson medically evacuated, Zach first boot, Chappelle has Zach, Chappelle grenaded, Asia has Jackson, Jackson not the grenade. Okay, so now we have a bit of a precedent. You have to be voted out first to be the grenade. Get to 44, Bruce and Maddie, same thing. Asia has Bruce, Chappelle has Maddie, Maddie grenaded. Then we got to Survivor 45, Hannah quit, wasn't voted out, but I do think maybe fine quits different. Chappelle shouldn't have drafted a quitter. Asia has Brandon not grenaded because Chappelle wanted to be chivalrous and he took the grenade, and then D won instead of Julie, and then my pick of Austin came second.
Are you saying that Brandon Donlin should have been the grenade?
Yeah, I think
even though he got voted out in the second episode of the show,
he was the first person written down to be voted out.
Let's make some bylaws here. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Like, have the bylaws. That's
the grenade is somebody who loses on the first episode. Okay.
What if there's only a medevac on the first episode?
Then that's the grenade.
What? Okay. See, this is why we need to explain it. Okay. So
if your torch is snuffed, you're the grenade.
But
that's it. Hannah's torch was snuffed.
All right. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. But we didn't decide that. Chappelle just took it. took it.
No, I was under the impression that the first torch snuffed was the grenade. So
Chappelle loves being the grenade. He has a thing for it. He's always asking to be the grenade.
Like,
it's a humiliation.
When did we say a quit isn't losing at the show? If you go to the tribal council and you say, everybody vote me out, and you get voted out, I don't know how there's a lot of debate or drama.
She did.
People raised their hand.
Did they put her torch out?
Yeah.
Did they vote her name down? Okay, it's fine. If we want to make it torches, that's fine. But I'm just saying wasn't decided.
Let me ask: Did you do an exit interview with somebody this week?
What?
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring Australian Survivor into this too early in the week. Look, if you say I want to go home, that's it.
Okay. I'm happy with Puyo's torch thing. I'm just saying we're retroactively doing it, and there was schools of thought around it.
They're saying in the chat that Jeff is no longer snuffing quits torches now, though.
Yeah, well then they're the grenade then. I mean, they're not the grenade.
Not the
whatever.
grenade.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, well, then we'll figure it out. Chappelle will just take it.
How many ways can you leave the game of Survivor? You get medevaced, you quit, or you get voted out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the only 3 options. Unless anybody can think of another option, let's say that those are the 3 options. If we as a group decide
Yeah.
Medivacs,
Medivacs
no,
are
this
the
is
only
late.
way.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is not off to a good start here tonight.
This is
I
a
don't
great start.
agree.
What are you talking
I
about?
also
This
feel
is-
like no one will get Medivac this season. They got that.
Well,
for
good.
going for
Then
them.
Okay,
good.
that's
Yeah,
Then
good.
a
Yeah.
grenade is a
From
grenade.
From a draft
We love
perspective,
that.
they don't have a
That's why
curse
Asia
set.
didn't
Okay.
show up because
Yeah.
she
So-
didn't. She didn't want.
Okay, I have
Here's-
another. This is
here's
a
the-
legitimate rule
Medivac
question,
because there
but I-
wasn't any.
Well, here's
I
the
have-
judgment call on this,
Okay.
okay? If in the first episode somebody gets medically evacuated and voted off, the person who gets voted off
Yes.
should be the grenade.
Yes.
As
And what if
as
someone
per
were to
our last
quit?
email.
What if it was a medical quit?
What?
The
I
person
feel like we know it when we see it.
voted off
personally.
at tribal
We
council is the
Yeah,
grenade.
take it. But Hannah wasn't voted. out.
She was. Shannon, please.
Wasn't.
Please,
She
we can't
wasn't.
do this. We
I
can't
feel like
do
I'm being
we
gaslit.
we
Like
have
she
so
wasn't.
much to
Shannon,
get to.
for
Okay.
someone who like you are saying that you actively would be willing to have your win be the most asterisk win of all time, where
Oh,
your
it's gonna be
winner
the
was the
biggest
runner up.
asterisk. The
Yeah.
biggest asterisk in bold and italics.
You'd be okay with that if that's
why
how you
the
got your
grenade
win.
rule exists. I
No,
had
the
both of the
grenade
final
rule
tribal
exists
council
because
people.
I drafted
none of them are the
Marianne when
winner.
you incorrectly drafted
And-
Omer. That's why it exists.
And
because
if
that
you go
moment
to
it just
tribal
happened.
council and say, vote me out, everybody, you got voted out.
Hmm.
But they didn't. Anyway, whatever. I'm done. It's fine. Puya's torch thing is fine. And now my second rule, which is actually important because it looked like it might have happened. What if, say as an example, Chappelle's a grenade because he puts his hand up for it every season, and then Julie wins, right? And then say Karen had Katura and I had Jake, and say they both got one vote. Who would have won that draft?
We'll flip a coin
No,
after
we're
that
not,
happens.
no, we're not flipping a
Do or
coin.
die.
Yeah.
Do or
Isn't it
die.
the next
average
highest
draft
placement?
placement?
We
you
let
think-
Twitter vote.
I think
No.
I think what Taryn just said, the next highest placement.
Next
So
highest
whichever one of you
placement.
have
Next
fourth,
highest
fifth,
got
or
another
sixth,
person.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
Easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now that we've worked
I
all
like
of the
Puya's rule.
contingencies out, okay,
It's important.
let's get to the business at hand.
Sorry, no one
okay.
else takes this so seriously.
All right, Shannon, I think you'll want us to get to this, okay?
Oh.
Because you have gotten a great gift from Asia. You will be drafting first tonight, Shannon.
Ooh.
Okay.
I mean,
According to this,
parody.
Asia says Shannon's never been first, so she won't have an excuse if she loses again.
From
I don't know
beyond
that I've
the
ever used that
pale.
as an excuse.
Yes.
Well,
I have my other
you won't be able to anymore.
Okay. All right. Great job. All right. Then, okay, I can no foul play here. Asia has put me into the second spot in the
Girl,
draft.
All right, we're gonna have
Asia,
to
at
double
this
check
point,
that.
Yeah,
Double check that.
Fax it
Okay.
over here.
Facts it to Chappelle as well. Okay. All right. Well, you can check the facts, but you are drafting third, Chappelle.
That's fine.
Oh.
I'll say
Okay.
it.
Best spot.
Puya is drafting fourth.
Oh.
Karen is fifth.
Fifth again?
And Liana is
Give me
sixth
sixth at this point.
because, as per Asia, that she's sixth because she put herself there when she won Survivor 43.
Did she write reasons for all of us? I would like
No.
to know the reason.
No,
She did
only,
not.
Right.
I only have a reason for Shannon and for Liana.
See,
rest
I'm
of you should
Wait.
just file.
What was
yourself,
Liana's
Asia.
reason?
Because I put myself in sixth when I won 43.
Yes.
So
Okay.
So thus, you will be in six when she won. That doesn't make any sense,
Okay.
Asia.
I'll be the Asia proxy, I guess.
No,
Okay.
how about we
Noted.
just
Never
go?
give Asia first pick again. I'll put that
Right.
down on my notes.
This is why we can't let her have nice stuff.
Ridiculous.
All right. So, are we ready? We're good?
Yes.
Define
Shannon,
ready.
you
Yeah.
feel good about the rules?
I mean, sure.
Great. Okay.
It took us 6 seasons to nail them down.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Look, Survivor itself is constantly evolving and changing the rules. So,
Yeah, and I hate that.
okay.
The rules
All right.
have never been clearer. Shannon gets the first pick. The stars are aligned. Shannon, this is yours to win. Go for it. I got you.
Tough cast, I felt.
In
I
what
wanna
way?
think- I thought that they all it was very even. Like, I actually feel really good about so many people, and I know that the audience often hates that. They're like, be ruthless, tell us why these people suck. But like, honestly, I thought a lot of people I felt really good about, but not a lot of people like stood out beyond that for me on either side, which I found really tough. Yeah, I want to thank Mike because the interviews were amazing, and I feel like I got to know them all very well. But one person did stand out to me in a way that I was just like, I could see this person winning. I always say that I feel like the winner needs to be like a sparkly person, the kind of person that you would meet them hopefully before, definitely after, and that might be some confirmation bias and be like, oh, you would win Survivor. You're just so likable and special, which a lot of these people seem to have. But this person really stuck out to me, and I don't know the vibes on him, but I want to go with Hunter as my winner pick and the first draft pick. Again, a lot of good options, but Hunter to me just seemed like he studied to be a doctor and then didn't do that to do something he felt was more worthwhile. Like he's got the fandom, he's a teacher. He just seemed like he did have that JT level energy, but non-derogatory. So I'm going with Hunter as my pick.
Non-derogatory JT energy. Wow. Impressive.
JT.
Yeah. I can tell you that Hunter would have been my number one pick if
Thank you, Asia.
He got past Shannon. So I do really like the pick. Hunter McKnight.
Yeah, he's the most on paper pick. I feel like after reading and hearing everything he had to say, I feel like he is someone who I knew would go in the first round. I feel like what I liked about him is in talking about perceptions, he definitely realizes it live in the moment. Oh, I'm one of the bigger guys. And he gives me someone who's going to know how to pivot that and make that work for him. And he's not coming in with like a rigid strategy of how to go about things. Someone who has also played and built some of these challenges and worked on these things. A little preparation is good for the soul. I guess the big question mark worry is, you know, all the things you need to know about being the bigger guy and being perceived that way, but can you hide in a plain sight when the game closes in later on? Because I feel like he's going to stick out then, but we'll see.
Yeah, certainly that's a concern with Hunter, but I kind of feel like that he would have a little bit of that, but I feel like that there are bigger targets than him in terms of like, I think that there's guys that are bigger than him, people that are stronger, people that are more outgoing. So I do think that he's probably not the most anything in any category where he stands out like that tall poppy that ends up getting taken out. And I do think he also comes across as a very humble person. And I think he's somebody who's pretty likable. He's a teacher. I really think that there's a lot to like about Hunter, who also happened to be the First Lady of Podcasting's winner pick.
Who's your winner pick then? If he was your first pick,
I guess by proxy, I don't like to like had Nicole not picked him.
No,
I would have said Hunter is my winner pick.
Okay, wow, first pick.
I don't know if I'm like I have to find a different winner pick.
No, take him. Feel good about it.
It's just I don't like it's like sharing a toothbrush, and I don't know.
I mean, listen, his bio says that his friends might describe him as a little arrogant, and 2 questions in a row he talks about his good grades in college.
Taran having to go for the rest of the bio.
Listen, what do you want me to do?
We're lost. He's like feeling.
There were no pet peeves.
I'm just loving it. I just love how he was like free falling through the bio without anything to grab onto. You just want the peeves so badly.
But I agree. Acknowledging that you're a little bit arrogant, kind of, it means you probably heard it before. And so hopefully he doesn't get too hungry and start winning a little bit and start to really feel himself. But Shannon, I think this is a great pick, especially if your strategy is like mine to not pick the grenade, because I don't think there's any world where Hunter goes first. He's smart from what he tells us, and he's big. So, I mean, between physicality and like, if it's a brain brawn, like challenge type situation, I think he's fine regardless. And so I think this is a great pick for you.
He also seems really charismatic. I think that he is a people person, especially the fact that he wanted to be a doctor, which also involves working with people, ended up being a teacher, which also involves working with people. And he also strikes me as someone who can listen and isn't just going to be talking. He can actually give a bit of a back and forth. And so I think for all of the reasons, like he's such a good pick. I love this for you, Shannon.
I'm so happy. I feel like he is the hunter, they are the foxes. And I feel like if we all feel so good about him, it's just going to be a question of everyone can see it. And do they just feel that good about it that they let it slide, which is very JT and Token Teens coded? Or is it that obvious that they'll take him out at a point with like a new era gamer cast? You would think it'd be the latter, but maybe it's that overwhelming. So come on, Hunter. I really, really need this. Thank you so much.
One of the things I really like about Hunter also is that he is one of the two people from Mississippi in this cast that he and Q, according to these pregame interviews, have been eyeing each other, and that both of them said, "Oh boy, there's somebody else here from Mississippi." You know, in Mississippi, we look out for our own. If he could, he's not on the same tribe as Q, but if he could team up with Q after the merge, I really like that for Hunter in terms of where Q is the person I think who will be attracting more of the attention. And I think Hunter would be looked at as the less threatening person in that pair based off of, I think that Q is going to be, I think, a bigger leader in the game.
And Venus said she liked him. She's on his tribe. So there's quite a bit there. He's good age, 28.
All age.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people from other tribes as well that have described pretty much him of someone they've liked from what they've seen. So I think if he does make it all the way to a swap or the merge, I think he's going to land in a good spot. It's clear that he's been welcoming to people. And it's not like how someone like Caleb last season, which everyone was like very positive about, to the point where everyone on the panel here was like, yeah, that's too much. Like, no one's going to let this guy get a foot ahead, which y'all nailed. But with Hunter, I'm not getting that same energy that they're immediately eyeing him up as a threat. I think it's more of a welcoming charisma.
I mean, I think a lot of people described him as Thor, or at least
Thor.
I did hear that
Yeah.
once. So if Thor, as long as he can keep that target off of his back, then I think that he'll be in a good spot. That would be my only concern for him. I think he'll definitely make merge. Absolutely not going to be a grenade. It's just how can he manage his threat level?
Yeah. Hemsworth connection, Australian. It's kismet. You know, I feel like it's there's so much there. There's so much there. And to get both Rob and Nicole's Winnipeg, like I should send Asia like a fruit basket or
yes,
like some flowers. Because thank you for that.
Okay. Anything else on Hunter? Okay. All right, then let's keep moving. Okay. So now comes to me here with the second pick overall, and this is tough. I have I had Hunter as like a clear one, and then I sort of been moving stuff around in terms of my number 2, but I'm gonna ultimately go with I had like 3 or 4 different people it could have been, but I'm gonna go ahead and hand in the card, and I'm gonna go with Tiffany with the number 2 pick overall here. Tiffany, as we will bring her up here in a moment. I thought that she was like a really fun personality. I think somebody who I would imagine fits the criteria that Shannon laid out of, seems like the type of person when you meet them, it seems like, yes, this makes sense that you are the winner of Survivor. You have that aforementioned sparkly personality. Tiffany, she says that in addition to being an artist and creative, she's a gambler, and don't bet against her because she's coming in very excited. She really won over Mike Bloom, although many of these contestants did, but I felt like that
over Mike Bloom.
She I think is somebody who's coming in. I think again, she's in the tribe with Q, and I think it's also somebody who will be able to benefit from where Q, I think, is going to be the person that is going to have more attention on them. I think that Tiffany is somebody who might be able to have a little bit more leeway and room to work. And so I feel like she's somebody who's going to be able to hold her own in the challenges. And so I'm going to go ahead and go with Tiffany.
I love this pick so much, and I'm so mad at you for it, but I can't hate it because she was number 1 with a bullet, my choice for winner. I think that she has so much charisma. I think that she is just the person that I was like immediately drawn to. It was the same that I felt about Shan. As soon as I listened to the interview, there was just something about her that I just wanted to hear more. I just wanted to talk to her. I just wanted to interact with her, and I think that is such a fantastic skill. It is like the skill I think that you need to have for Survivor. And on that alone, I love her. There's things in her interview that should have been negatives that just weren't for me because I was so drawn to her charisma.
Oh yeah. Big agree. I think that Liana hit the nail on the head. Everything about her, the delivery of what she was saying when she was talking to Mike, she was saying some stuff that I'm like, ooh, that might not be great in a Survivor player, but I want this person to be my best friend anyway. I remember her saying like, oh yeah, I can't hide my facial expressions. You know, like if I'm unhappy, you're going to know about it. And there are definitely moments in Survivor where you don't get your way and you have to bounce back from it. And I can just see her. I know I can see this person sitting on the beach sulking, ready to kill all these people because they didn't do what she thought they were going to do. And I'm like, she's not going to be able to hide it. But also, look at how she said it. She's so dope. I want her to be my friend. I think that she's going to do great in the game. She's one of my early picks as well. I think this is a great pick. I don't know how Asia's screwing me over from not even here, but I'm definitely going to hold this against her.
I'll put it in the gift basket. Thank you for screwing over Chappelle.
I mean, she says she's lucky.
Yeah, God's favorite, Taryn.
Gotta be lucky.
Yeah, Survivor, you have to be lucky.
She loves Lotto.
I can't with Taryn. That's my favorite part of all of this. Like the fact that, do you think they did it on purpose to spite him? I like to think so. But I mean, I feel like she's the kind of person where you say a sparkly person, she seems like the kind of person who succeeds in life. And maybe, I don't think it's necessarily just luck. I think it's that kind of person who lands on their feet, who achieves, like the fact that she's a fairly recent artist and has had her work shown in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's like,
she's gone out on her own out of spite. Somebody told her she couldn't do it. I love that for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the things I absolutely love is, again, knowing the negative things about yourself or being able to vocalize those and recognize those before it's even started. Mentioning, you know, when talking about Niantic, like, I'm not really that patient. I'm an instant gratification girl. But I feel like knowing that and working on that is very important. And it's clear that she's thought about it on the onset, which I think is huge. So I do love that as well. And everything all of you have said about the energy, you feel it the minute you press play on the video. Like, it's so evident. So Rob, you know, it's your first pick. You've not been drafting on the Survivor end for many moons, but look at you. You still got it.
Still got it. Okay.
It was fine.
All right. All right. There's Tiffany. Okay. We now move to Chappelle, who has the third pick. All right, Chappelle, where are you going?
Okay, let me get into my list. Man, that Tiffany pick is so good. All right, let's see. All right. I'm going to go with this person because I think I am the biggest fan of them based on their interview with Mike. They sounded like they had done the preparation, that they were charismatic, that they knew exactly what, like, if anybody was going to write down their Survivor plan and see it through, I think it's this person. It's that age range that we're thinking of. And I did not think this was going to fall to me, but this is my first pick. This is my number one pick, and it's Jim.
Jem, yes.
Yeah. I love Jim. Her interview with Mike, to me, felt so like, it's like what you would coach a player who is like Jim to do, right? Jim is saying, oh, I'm a manager, but I know how to manage from behind. I don't have to be in the front. I don't have to do those things. She's talking about, like, I think there's a difference between binge watching Survivor and just knowing, like, oh, I saw all the seasons, and also being aware of the discourse and knowing what conversations are happening when those seasons are over. And, you know, because the show presents the game one way, but we talked it through and we're like, oh, you know, these other intricate things are happening. And I think Jim understands that. I was very excited to hear her talk about her game with Mike. Like I said, by far my favorite interview, my number one pick on the board, and I'm very happy to drop to me. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll add that I really like Jem also. She was somebody that I was considering with the number 2 pick as well. I really like that she is somebody who is basically like has both the things, where she is very capable in the outside world and, you know, has her career, but also that she comes from humble beginnings where the survival aspect should be no big deal for her, even though she says she's not going to be a provider for the group.
Well, that was the cool part. She said, I have the provider skills that like Nasir had, right? But I know I don't have to show that part of me unless it comes down to it. I'm like, yes, that's what you tell somebody when they know they can go fish and climb trees. You say, don't do it. You know, let people make that your job. That doesn't have to, you don't volunteer for that. I'm like, yes, this person is saying what I wanted to say. So yeah, I was very excited when she said that as well, Rob.
I think she was also someone who came across as like, I'm here on a business trip. Not that she explicitly said that, but she felt very overt about like, oh yeah, I'm cutting my friends. Like, we all know what we're here for. And that is the right attitude. We saw that from D when, Austin filled in D on the blind side. D did not do the same. And that's exactly the type of energy that I want to see. So I think combine that attitude with everything that you both have mentioned. I think it's a stellar pick. She was top of my board.
Something that I find interesting is that we have gone with the first 3 picks across each tribe. Now, have we nailed down what tribe is going to be the disaster tribe? Like, who is on the Lulu beach? Because it's always the same tribe on that beach.
You're right.
Yeah. So
what you got?
But that could mean different things, obviously, because
Yeah.
Tika went well. It didn't go so well for Lulu. So it does not necessarily mean they shouldn't be a winner.
Well,
pick, but I'd really
can
like
tell
to
you-
nail it down.
I can tell you what tribe I think is going to be the disaster tribe, which I believe is Nami is my pick to be the disaster tribe.
Really?
And Nami is the
green tribe. The green tribe. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I probably,
I can tell you the people. I don't know their colors.
Wait, Nami's orange, no?
Orange. I'm sorry.
Yeah, orange.
No, that's what my pick's from.
Orange is always a disaster. This
orange
we know.
Yeah,
But Hunter
Randy-
will behind
So
Shannon.
it's Soda,
Yeah.
Hunter, Liz,
Hunter will survive.
Brandon,
Hunter will be
Tevin.
fine.
and Venus.
Yeah, they're little. Like Venus is so small, and like Tevin's not like a huge guy as well. It looks like if anybody's gonna lose a challenge, Hunter is fine, which is why I think Shannon's pick was so good. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I really wasn't getting disaster tribe from them. I was looking at someone else.
Yeah, I think the green
Just my
tribe.
guess.
The green tribe. Is that what you thought, Chappelle?
Yeah, I think I was looking at the green tribe. I just think that like
Which is the green tribe?
it is
Really
Siga
Siga.
tribe.
Coordinate on names.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, the green tribe. But like I said, I think like Shannon's right. Every season it seems to be there is one tribe that is just far and away not cutting it. And so whoever has that tribe, they're probably going to lose a lot of players very quickly. And I would hate that for anybody's tribe. But I feel like I drafted a survivor. Like I just feel like she's going to Jim is just going to be able to be one of the people who, if the tribe starts falling apart, she's physical enough and smart enough to where she won't be the one voted out first.
Yeah. No, I think this is sorry, go ahead, Taryn. Go ahead.
I think a potentially concerning thing, she talks a lot about rules that she has, which I think can be valuable when they're guidelines and not rules, but she does talk about them as rules. And I do think you need to be flexible. Like for instance, she talked about like not playing an idol on another person. She talked about like I'm not going to go to Advantage Island. Like there were just a bunch of different things that she's like, I've seen this play out poorly for other people, so I don't want to make the same mistake, which I do think is valuable. But in the moment, it's always like a percentage. It's always like there's always a percentage where that is the right call. And you got to be able to make those calls in that moment. And most people talk about rules. They don't really mean that they'll never do a thing. But if that's in there, putting like a bias on her options, then it could potentially lead to disaster.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. So Chappelle is on the board with Gem, number 3 overall. Okay. Let's go now to Puya with the 4th pick. First for him. Puya, where are you going?
So this is the first draft since we started doing this that I very publicly have announced who I'm going for.
Really?
I've said it as any time it's been asked. I've said it. I've tweeted it.
Tweeted it?
I don't think she's going to be the grenade. Hell, if she was the grenade, I would pick her anyway.
Oh, I
It's
know.
been far too long since a Persian has been on the show.
Hey,
Not since season 30. Got another Persian on the cast. No matter how this goes down, I wanted her on my team. And I honestly just wanted her on my team. And that only give me Venus.
Hey.
All right.
Venus.
Here comes Venus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Puya, love this for you. Saw it coming a mile away. I remember listening to her bio thinking, oh yeah, she's talking directly to Puya. I wouldn't have sniped this pick from you, even if I knew for a fact you were going to pick her. But she sounds like she knows what she's talking about. And that's the coolest part about it, right?
Oh,
it's
dude,
like, okay, it's a hard pick, but also I feel good about this for you.
So I saw the preview, obviously, at the end of 45, and she's like, Persian. I was like, oh my God, yes. But then I don't know how she's going to play. Hearing the interview, I was like, oh, thank God. Okay. I actually feel good about this. Okay. I feel like she's someone who has definitely been studying the game quite a bit, which I love. I absolutely love, because obviously we are in the era now where a lot of these players are finding the show during the pandemic, during the Netflix era. So I love the idea of you get it suggested to you on Netflix and you're like, nah, I'm not starting with what they gave me. Season 1. I'm going to go find it somewhere else and watch it. Love that. I feel really good about her, y'all. I feel really good about her. I think there's a lot of potential here. She's someone who's willing to end up villainous and does not mind. And to that, I say you're going to play your heart out and you're going to be entertaining no matter what. And you're going to rep us, but you're going to rep you first. And I think that's very important. She's not playing to be like, I'm doing this for the Persian. She's doing it for Venus. And we're going to be backing her.
Great pick, William.
Yeah, it's funny because from the preview that we saw of the season, I mean, Puya was immediately like, I'm drafting her. I have to have her. So I almost didn't even consider her. I didn't even put her on my draft board as an option because even if I had the choice to pick her, I would have let Puya have her.
Oh, that's very nice.
I probably
That
wouldn't
being
have
said,
done
I just said that, and I
Yeah,
didn't know
Chappelle
right.
did just say that.
Thank you,
I
You're
know.
both
Nobody
I'm
batted an
agreeing
eye.
with
You
it.
both.
Liana, this is
Mm-hmm.
no slight against you. I'm talking about Rob
Aaron,
and
would you
Shannon,
have done the
haters.
same? Would you have not drafted her for me?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
You have to
Especially
realize
with the pet
it doesn't matter one way or another to me. I don't know any of these people.
And they don't even have peeves. It's literally just meaningless to Darren.
That's all he has. Yeah.
It's not romantic from you, Chappelle.
Right.
I think she's a very effervescent person, at the same time very logical, very systematic. I think my biggest concern for her is obviously she's very tiny. And if it comes into question early, if they're losing, I think that that's really the only reason why she would potentially be up for being eliminated. But other than that, I think she's a really good pick. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think she's so pretty. And like, it's hard because she also feels like a bit of a sparkly person. Now, someone like D just won. Gorgeous. It was obvious. But D had to play one of the best games ever, I feel, to overcome some of that, like, clear your sparkly threat level. So it's hard for me between the sparkle and the threat of the sparkle. With some physical limitations, that's always concerning. They only last seen 44. And they didn't see the swap of 45. So they might go back to that like very physical mindset. So that's always really difficult as well. But she likes Hunter and hopefully they take it really far. And also Mike says he's 70% sure that Sega, the Green Tribe, was on the Lulu Beach, the Green Tribe. So that doesn't look good for them because there's something wrong with that beach.
Definitely. No, I agree with you. The beach is cursed.
Yeah, it might actually also be like a really bad beach. Like the elements of it might be negative.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see it. I think that with Venus, I think that one of the interviews as well, where I was like, this cast is amazing, but physical aspects and maybe just like it being really obvious. But those are my two things.
Yeah. I really like the profile for Venus. I like the profile more than the landing spot for her. I think that in terms of the tribe that she's on, I think she's one of two people that I think could be the person to go out if her particular tribe goes to tribal council based off of some of the pregame, okay, who's vibing with who. It's not always a lock, but a lot of times the people who are sort of like saying like, okay, I want to work with this person in Ponderosa, like in the first couple days of the game, they get to the beach and they do end up working with those people. And so it seems like that there's like a triad of people in her group. Hunter is not part of that, but I assume that Hunter is going to also get absorbed into that. So I think for me, it's a little bit of a 50-50 if she could be the first person out of her particular tribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she did name drop you, Rob. You know, she did. She's like,
I love the profile. I think she's super smart, and I think that I would, if she was on a different tribe, I would think that she has she would be higher on my rankings. I would love to see her go all the way to the end and win this thing. I just that's why I wasn't looking at her at this part of the draft. Okay. There's Venus. Pick number 4 goes to Puya. All right. Taryn is here. No pet peeves. Little to go off of.
There were a lot of interviews. Like a lot. It was all
There
there.
were no interviews because none,
Not for Taryn, yeah.
Exist.
Mhm.
Mike, next time
They did
please
have
ask
some
about the
hobbies
pet
though.
peeves.
They had some
Mhm.
hobbies.
Oh, do you
Okay.
have hobbies this time?
Well, listen, not everyone had interesting hobbies.
Right.
Not a lot of people have interesting hobbies. You know who does?
Who?
Kenzie.
Ooh.
Kenzie.
Yes.
Interesting hobbies. Go on.
Fantasy romance novels. Love it.
Mhm.
I'm into it.
I didn't know that.
Also mad at you. So Tiffany and Kenzie were my top two, and it wasn't even close. So that's fine. I'm gonna be fine.
Yes, I do. I like Kenzie. She seems very chill. She seems like somebody who can like get along with a lot of different kinds of people. She's a hairstylist. She she's somebody that is, I think, like in a fast-paced game. She's talked about like how she moved in with her fiance after 2 weeks of dating. Like she's ready. Like she's ready to
Okay.
commit to you and make you feel like she's gonna be with you for the long haul. But she's also talked about like being perfectly willing to move around between different people if she needed to. And so I think that's really good. She just seems like somebody like you just look at her and you're like, yeah, I could get along with her. Like she seems chill. And I think that's really valuable. Also, yeah, fantasy romance novel.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is a good pick. She was at the top half of my draft board as well. She seems like she's very nice. She feels like she's very likable. She's very fun. She has the hairdresser thing. Ever since Jam Jam broke the mold, right? So it's like, okay, maybe that's a really personable job that shows that you can talk to and meet new people all the time and get along with everybody. She seems like a very good time. She looks like she's gonna be good TV. And there's something to say about just rooting for somebody and voting and drafting somebody that you know is going to play a fun game that you can root for. And I think that's Kenzie. So great pick, Taryn, even though, I think Liana probably wanted it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's very annoying that you just kind of like fell into this pick with your random criteria because it is a better pick than even you.
Excuse me. This is
This is
a tried
how it
and
feels
true
when
method.
Taryn picks someone that you wanted. You're like, oh, I really wanted Kelly last year. And Taryn's like, well, her pet peeves were pickles. And I just kind of agree with that.
And everyone wants that pick. And you know as well that the annoying thing about it is he tweeted like 6 hours ago and being like, where are the peeves? It's like, is that when you started preparing for this?
Literally.
I've been listening to interviews since, I don't even know, since 2023 it feels like.
Shannon, that's when I looked and then I went climbing.
Think about it. Is that where you get your like clarity on the,
Yeah,
So
let's say that, yeah.
you don't deserve this pick.
You don't.
You don't.
You do not.
Kenzie, yeah, she's top tier. If she'd gotten to me, she might have been like my second pick because I don't see I would have let that one slip.
I don't know how anybody thought I'd let this go. Her last name is Petty. Like,
oh, Taryn, stop it.
Petty peeve.
Like petty peeve, yeah.
Yes.
Stop it.
That was it. That might be a little kismet, but I think with sometimes the interviews that I listen to at the very start, they get a little lost because again, it's been so much content since then. And Kenzie did not. Like, she's still super memorable to me. We talk about the salon owner that Jam Jam was. As someone who works in the hair industry, I've always said, being like a salon owner, you've got like the hairdressing aspects, or you're creative, you have to be a people person who loves people to be a hairdresser. And then a salon owner has, the business skills, the leadership skills. Like there's a reason why it works well for Jam Jam. Another very sparkly person, as Kenzie seems to be. How she's not going to say she's a salon owner. I think she said just a hairdresser. How much is that in people's mind when the Tika 3 are looming so large in these interviews, and Jam Jam, is a salon owner? But I think she can get past that. I think she seems incredibly fun and super outgoing and the life of the party. So Taryn, you lucked into it. You got so lucky.
Listen, you call it luck if you want.
He's God's favorite.
Yeah. Now Taryn believes in luck.
Yeah.
I'm just a great judge of character via small facts about people. That's all it is.
Agreed.
I think she's.
That's what the life feeds are, right? Small facts.
That's all.
Small amount of information.
Just small facts.
Yeah.
Look, she's an incredibly charismatic, sparkly person. She started her own salon. She's 24 years old. That's really impressive. I think that she is someone who as a salon owner, no, I mean, she to her clients like has to be able to sense the vibe, and I think that is something that's really important on Survivor. You got to be able to read, you got to be able to sense the vibe. It's not just being charismatic, it's being able to realize when people are lying to you. And so I think that she has that skill. I'm very impressed with her, and I think it's a great pick, even though I'm mad at you.
I feel like a lot of people also cited her with their first impressions of like very positively. So I feel like she's going to land well no matter where she ends up throughout the game.
All right, let's go to Liana, because Liana is going to have 2 picks in a row.
Yes.
Yay, 2 picks.
Yeah.
Better than 1
Okay.
pick.
So Tiffany and Kenzie were my like top 2 picks. Then I sort of have this next tier of people that I'm still super positive about and trying to decide between them who exactly I want to go to. But I think I'm going to, for my first of the 2 picks, I'm going to go with Maria.
Okay.
I think that she is someone who is also a very sparkly person. I think she's also very charismatic. She talks a lot about how she has to like work with younger people in her profession, and that's something that I think is going to be very beneficial out here on Survivor. She's also a freaking beast. In the spoiler alert, in the very first challenge, she's like carrying this whole puzzle piece by herself. It's like very impressive. Alone. It's like a big heavy puzzle piece. She's carrying it by herself. I love that for her. And I think that the main thing that really stuck out to me in her interview was she talks about, I struggle with a lack of control. But the times in my life where I learned the most are when I didn't have control. And that type of just self-reflection and being able to be intuitive about yourself and your own situation, that I think is really impressive. I'm actually now that I'm talking through it, I'm happy that I ended up with her.
How do we feel from an age perspective? 16 years older than the next person on her tribe.
But that's not the energy she gives,
Yeah,
right?
at
Like
all.
she also, oh my gosh, yeah, she like did the survivalist training school. Like she's so youthful, I feel like, in her energy, the way she looks, just everything about her. To me, that normally would have been a red flag, but wasn't. Getting to meet her and hear more about her personality.
Her hobbies
And it
are
didn't
very
hurt
boring.
Julie.
What was that, Taryn?
Her hobbies are very boring.
What were her
Travel,
hobbies?
Running, spending time with friends.
Wow, what Satan.
Yeah, what a
Satan
horrible life.
personified. Yeah.
Buddhist lady.
Well, he didn't say it was evil. It just said it was boring.
It's not really a hobby, spending time with friends. I debate if that's even a hobby.
I did not have Maria very high on my draft board. I had her towards the bottom of my draft board, but I did not consider her carrying the puzzle pieces on her back. I did see a couple of stills. I have not watched the first 12 minutes of the episode. I want to watch it all in one shot. But I did see those shots, and that was probably should have had her higher after considering that.
Yeah, she was someone on my list that I felt like I could maybe hit a steal in like a late second or even an early third. I felt like was off a lot of radars. Then I saw the preview today. I saw the puzzle carrying. I was like, well, she shot up my list. So I feel like I'm not going to chance gambling like I did with D last season, where I'm like, okay, maybe I can land D on the backswing, and then that doesn't happen. So I love this pick of like getting it now before anybody snipes someone who you know is good, but they may not know is good.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that people didn't realize that she was physical. Like I felt like her occupation, like her other stuff in her bio was saying that she's like a physical therapist and all that stuff. So I assumed that like, okay, this is somebody that if they
puts
make it
the
to
physical in physical therapist.
Well, yeah, I really did. I felt like this is somebody who is not going to be a slouch in the challenges. I didn't even know about the puzzle piece carrying now, and I'm like, oh, I feel so like vindicated, but also, damn, it's such a good pick. So good job, Liana.
I think also her tribe that she's on is the worst of the 3 tribes that I feel like I have a kind of a feel of how the other 2 tribes are going to shake out. I think that I just really don't know who is necessarily in charge in her tribe, which is Charlie, Ben, Mariah, Jem, Maria, and Tim.
I really feel like that tribe is going to be the disaster tribe. Like, beach aside, I'm just looking at it now. Like, is that not? It feels so clear to me. I feel like Ben will be causing chaos.
I feel like Maria's in charge. I do. I feel like she's the one who's in. I think she's this like one of the safest people, honestly, just based off of her energy, and the fact that she is older, but like not. She doesn't give older energy. So I feel like she might like command respect, but not in a way that feels like someone is bossing you around. So I don't know. I feel really good about Liana's pick.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Can Liana go back to back with
Ooh.
picks to feel good about?
All right. Well, I'm hoping that. Oh, are we supposed to reset round one? I feel like.
We don't have to.
Okay,
Do you
great.
want
Let's
to?
look at it.
No.
We're
Yeah.
getting
I
personal,
wasn't. I wasn't
producer,
going
this is-
to.
Let's look at our picks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Round one.
Then I will continue with my next pick. So I'm going to pick someone who I actually listened to as one of the last interviews that I listened to, but really stood out for me. And that was Soda.
Okay.
Ooh.
She relates to Marianne, and I get it. I get the Marianne energy, maybe a little bit too much, and I'm a little bit nervous for her right off the bat, but I feel like she's in a good position with the sort of Liz, Tevin triad, Rob, that you brought up. I think that that's something that will probably benefit her so that she hopefully will not be the grenade, and then will be able to just continue to be her wonderful, charismatic self and ingratiate herself. I think that she's someone who, you know, she does talk about how she might struggle physically, but I almost feel like as long as she can survive throughout those first couple boots, then I think that actually could work in her favor, because she's not going to be perceived as a threat in that way that maybe Tiffany would, because she is very physical. So I'm really optimistic about Soda, and I hope that she wins.
Best name ever on Survivor.
Very good name on
Right?
Survivor. Yeah, Soda was somebody who was very high up on my board, was one of the 3 or 4 people I was considering when I had the second pick. I think she's in like a really good spot. I'd be very surprised if she's not part of the group calling the shots in her tribe. And then I think that she has a real opportunity in the second half of the game to have like a really strong social game, maybe isn't looked at as the biggest threat coming out of her alliance, and then has a, you know, good shot to get to the end without getting too many people trying to gun for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she would have been very high for me. I don't know if it's recency bias, but actually a lot of that tribe, a lot of, you know, the interviews felt really good towards the end there. I really like the idea of a Whitney Houston alliance with Tevin, like the fact that they had the same celebrity loved one. For the people who listen to the interviews, Taryn, surely they're going to connect over that pretty much immediately. So good age, good job, special ed teacher. As we said, we kind of said that with Hunter as well. She could connect with Hunter over being a teacher. Hunter works with children from difficult backgrounds. Like, there's a lot of really good things there. I agree. Sparkly person. She says Marianne vibes. That's a high bar to clear, but I think there's a lot of upside here. So I think it's a really good pick.
Yeah, I will say, Liana, I understand you weren't happy, you didn't get your top 2, but you got this Soda. That's pretty cool. Pretty good. She's great. I love her. Her energy's phenomenal. I feel like she's like in the perfect tribe, I feel like, as well. Just seeing her in the opener, her mat chat, like she's ecstatic to play, and I can't wait to see what she does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soda was almost an auto pick for me.
Hey.
And that's
Oh.
because she actually does mention a pet peeve.
Oh.
Unprompted.
Yes.
So I had a dilemma. My dilemma was, do I auto pick her because she's the only one who had a pet peeve, or do I just judge the pet peeve? And? I just had to judge the pet peeve. She talked about her pet peeve was just another person in Ponderosa who was like staring at people. And she was like, I don't like that. You don't do that in New York. She said, I'm from New York. We do not do that. And I know we're all trying to suss each other out. I'm probably doing it, but at least I'm trying to make sure it's in passing. Stop for a second, park, pass, run. That's already annoying me. Like I said, it was a pet peeve. So there you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think that guy did not make the cast. The guy that everybody hated.
That was
I
author's note.
Oh, no.
The guy everybody hated.
Wait, they were planning to vote out the alternate first?
That's
Yeah.
just bad luck. As far as I'm concerned.
Poor bearded guy.
Because that guy was destined for a showman.
That's the guy everybody was like the bearded guy, and I was like, oh well, I don't know if anybody fits that
Yeah.
description here.
Honestly, I may have dodged a
A
bullet
lot of
because I would have
people
drafted
talk
him.
about
I
beard.
think I would have
Yeah.
100% drafted
Yeah.
this bearded man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chappelle, we
I
survived.
just don't understand this pet peeve. I don't understand what's pet about it. I need something more concrete here, Soda.
She's not giving a pet
people
peeve,
staring. Yeah, people staring rudely, Taryn. That's the pet peeve.
Staring into your soul.
Yeah. What is it? Park pass go?
Park pass run.
Park pass run. Okay. All right. There's Soda. All right. Liana is on the board with 2 picks. All right. Now we come back to Taryn. Unable to have somebody with a pet peeve now.
Yes.
Okay.
However, I've got another good hobby. Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
I know what you're going with.
Yes.
Mhm.
I picked Mariah.
Mariah.
Yes. She likes beer brewing, surfing, okay. Dungeons and Dragons, great. Also, current resident San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Taryn, you think you
Yeah.
might get invited?
Maybe
a
I'll get invited to go
D&D game?
surfing or to play Dungeons and Dragons. Who knows?
Yeah.
or to drink beer, Taryn, or to drink
Yes.
beer.
Yes.
Yes, one of
We don't have
Taryn's
to talk about
hobbies.
that one.
Definitely
Yes.
one of mine.
Yes. Taryn, would you be the dungeon master?
You know, that's an appealing title.
I was gonna say you don't strike me as a D&D guy, Taryn.
I actually did. I played D&D once in college. It happened.
How did it
And
go?
you liked it.
Never played
It was
again.
fine.
It was fine.
Okay.
Okay.
It didn't happen again. So
Is this why you do climbing, to have an interesting hobby if ever you go on a show and there are no peeves and people have to judge it by hobby based on the
Listen,
criteria you've laid out?
I love climbing. I think it's the most fun thing in the world. It's a very boring hobby. Don't say climbing.
Does any one of us have an interesting hobby? Like my hobby is podcasting.
Yeah, I don't have a hobby.
I don't have time.
Yeah.
My hobby
But-
is like voyeuristically stalking people 24/7 on live feeds. Like, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of
That's why
interesting.
you said last.
Same.
Wow.
Oh, when you say it like
Yeah,
that.
it does
I'm
sound
gonna
very
say,
interesting.
Taryn, me too, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, frankly,
Not
that
the
should
live
be the
feed.
title of the podcast, when you say it like
Mhm.
that. Voyeuristically stalking with Taryn Armstrong every morning.
There you go.
Rebrand.
Not to derail the conversation, I think that the thing that ran me away from Mariah is the same thing that almost got that Taryn was talking about with the petty
D&D?
name, right? The name Mariah. We have seen Mariahs in the past on this
Yeah.
show. I think 2 in a row where it was like literally Mariah and Mariah spelled 2
Yeah,
different ways,
But
and
it's
it was
the
not
curse
good.
of the M's, Chappelle, and she's in a tribe with Maria.
Yes,
So
but one of them would be the M, and that's what I'm saying. And so when I looked at it, I was like, nah, if I'm listening to Marianne, and most times I do, I'm gonna have to stay away from this Mariah. And that was literally the red flag that I was like, that good enough for me. So good luck to you. But I don't see it for her just based off of her name.
Mhm.
There's a reason I don't see Mariah, although I would have probably taken her due to my sentimentality, a quirk that she says she's quirky and sentimental, actually. Mariah is me. Now, do I back myself? I don't know, but the more I listen to Mariah's interview, despite the fact that I do not play Dungeons and Dragons, I do not surf, and I do not brew or drink beer, I was like, oh, she's my archetype. It's weird to be in an archetype because I feel like, am I a human being or am I, what Rob called the nerdy ladies of Survivor? I love it for her. I'm definitely gonna
believe
like
I
her.
said that lovingly, and I said that they're
know.
all my friends.
I took it lovingly. I
yes.
just thought it was a funny parlance. I've loved every nerdy lady of Survivor. I'm not even on Survivor, and I'm a nerdy lady of Survivor.
Absolutely.
So I loved Mariah. I'm inherently rooting for her. But yeah, all the issues I have with myself, I had with her. So, but I still think she's a really great pick, and I would have liked to have her on my team just to kind of have it, in my collection. So.
Mhm.
She seems very intense. And I don't
Yes.
think that's inherently a bad thing, especially on Survivor when energy is running low. intense just seems normal. But I think for me, the nervousness for her was, okay, who do I see her vibing with on her starting tribe? And that was really the biggest issue, where I was like, I just don't know how she's necessarily going to fit in with this initial group of people. I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that she can find a place. But I just felt like that intensity, and I mentioned this on the B&B, potentially, like, I felt like she gave a lot, but did not receive a lot in terms of her conversation with Mike. Like, it felt like she was talking the most and Mike was just sort of taking it in. So I don't know about the listening element of it all. But those were sort of my biggest concerns with her.
Yeah, I also think that there's a question about just her physicality in terms of like, could she be seen as
She
the
ran a
person?
marathon.
Yeah, so maybe she's not me. But then
Okay.
she says she second guesses herself a lot.
Mhm.
So now I'm even second guessing that.
You guys are
But
the
she's-
same. Oh my gosh.
Yes, but she did run a marathon. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty I think she's okay. I mean, we've taken quite a bit of this disaster tribe, or just, I guess, 2 people. 3 people. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Wait,
my
wait.
God.
Okay, so she's on the orange tribe as well? Is that what
No,
you're
she's
saying?
on the green tribe.
Yeah,
Correct.
So the
she's
brown-
on. It's Mariah, Maria, Jem, Tim, Ben, and Charlie on that tribe.
People
She
in
did
the
wipe
chat are
out.
saying-
Yeah, she did wipe out. So
Ooh,
She did.
that's pretty
Yep.
physical.
people in the chat
Very
are saying that she's giving them first boot vibes.
Oh,
But you know
no.
what? I've never been afraid of the grenade.
Mhm.
Ever.
I don't care.
Chappelle will take it from you.
Grenade
That
me all
part.
you want.
Okay. All right. We have a eyewitness in the chat. Caroline says, Mariah is my friend. She was in my sorority in college. She's amazing. She also won Wipeout.
She won
Wipeout?
That-
Well,
that-
in
Can
that
you even
case-
win Wipeout?
That is dope.
I think there is a
That
winner on
is-
Wipeout. Yeah.
I see
I know.
nothing but people. hitting
Liana
the
strikes
water.
me as a Wipeout watcher.
Derogatory.
Sorry?
Yeah, dude.
Might be
What
offended.
Did you?
What do you mean? What do you
I
mean?
mean,
I have watched Wipeout before.
Is
yes,
it not
but-
holy moly adjacent?
It is. I mean,
He
bouncing
said
on
you
big
watch
balls is
Lego
something I'd
Masters,
love
so
to
this
watch.
is for you. Wow, this is ridiculous.
Liana's hobby is watching Wipeout.
Yes, add that
How's
to
that
my
sound?
hobby list. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hmm. Okay. All right. There we go. There's Mariah. Okay.
Y'all got me
Booyah.
second guessing my pick now.
Like Mariah does. Second guessing. Maybe she's you too.
All
No.
right. Puya took Venus with the 4th pick overall. He's back again. Pick number 2.
Oh,
Owen
pick
Knight.
my other pick so
joining
I
us
know
in
who
the
to
chat.
pick.
Right.
Chappelle, I legitimately think we have the same 2 people we're looking at, and whoever I don't pick, you pick, and vice versa.
Okay.
I nearly was gonna say, can Chappelle go before me and I get the other one? I nearly, because I've been quiet
that's
because I'm
fine.
pondering. I'm still
it's not fine.
pondering.
It's not,
It's not
fine.
fine.
That would not be fine. You
No,
wouldn't want.
'cause if we do that and I win, and then we have to hear Shannon talk about the rules again, and I don't want to.
For the
What's
record,
it
I wouldn't, and I'd be the one impacted by that, Chappelle. This is tough, Rob. Let me. Okay, so here's the situation. I did not expect to have these 2 people still in front of me, and I'm very conflicted.
Uh-oh.
Very, very, very
Uh-oh.
conflicted as to where I'm going to go. This could legitimately, Chappelle, you joke, but this could be the difference between winning and not winning. It almost feels like.
I
You
hope
know?
we're not connected like this. This is eerie, but go ahead, make your pick.
He hasn't even said anything.
It'd be funny if you have 2 completely different people.
Right, that's
and
what I'm
we find
hoping
that out
at this
after.
point, because this is weird. Yeah.
And listen, I'm Amon Adwin, so I'm not going to spend 5 minutes here screaming and then making the wrong decision. Let's
Get
get
a
to it.
chapstick.
No. I'm going to pick Jessica. I'm gonna pick Jessica.
Is that who you had, Chappelle? Is this a magic trick?
I
Definitely
will
not.
reveal nothing.
That was not it. That was not Chappelle's pick. That was not Chappelle's
Can I
pick.
change my pick?
Yes. Okay.
No,
no,
That's
no.
the pick is in. The pick is in.
Now we care about
Booyah.
rules. Okay.
Booyah.
Booyah.
It's
To be fair, Jessica would have been my pick, but these conversations about these disaster tribes have made me start to rethink things. So just know that this was a good pick for me as far as I was concerned. I'm happy that somebody got Jessica early.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Owen
really
Knight adds my winner pick.
okay.
Okay.
Then blessed. Not even
And when
worried.
has Owen ever gotten anything wrong?
Okay, don't do that. Do not
Yeah,
do that.
that seems
Because
that
he was my winner pick. Okay, so hush. Oh, and I
I
love you.
really
Please
like
do.
Jessica. I felt good about Jessica. Even the opening confessional we got from her, I love the energy she's giving there. And I don't know. For me, I just felt like she seems like someone who's potentially good socially and can go the distance. And I'm not too worried about her. She was ironically one of the first interviews I watched, and I was worried, and she was lower on my list. The more other people I watched and then watched hers back, I felt better about her. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, that's really praising her there.
The social aspect is the thing that I'm most worried about for her, actually, because she said she was socially awkward and she compared herself to a social butterfly. And so I started to think about the players that are talking to everybody, but it's not landing all the time. And those players typically they don't do well because eventually people just look around and say, what about Kelly? Stuff like that. And so I'm thinking that this time I'm hoping that she does well, but I caught that kind of, divide in what she was saying on her interview with Mike versus what was in her parade interview.
I think she's super fun. Owen points out in the chat that she plays rugby. That's a tough sport. She could surprise us physically. I just felt like that she was a little like all over the place in her interview.
Well, here's my problem
with
with Jess.
ADHD, so that could explain it.
My problem with Jess is that she's a monster.
Yeah.
She binge watches 80% of a show and then panics about where the time is gone and reads recaps of the remaining 20%.
Yeah, that's correct. And also not a good business model for RHAP.
Awful. Like,
well, maybe
what are we doing here?
Because she listened to a podcast recap.
Yeah, exactly.
She finishes all of it.
Recaps.
Right, as long as she finishes all of it.
Don't knock it. A lot of people listen to our podcast without watching the show. Maybe that's fine. Maybe prioritize recaps over the show, right?
Listen, if she had said then listen to podcasts about the show for the remaining 20%, I would have said bless, angel, love her. Reading,
right.
No.
Reading. Well, she has such interesting hobbies, Taryn, though. I mean, that's at least very interesting.
I almost picked her because I was reading through. She wrote so much for her hobbies. I was like, this is great. But then I saw this. Oh, no. 80% of the show and then 20%. Listen, you do like 10%, 20%. You're like, you know what? I don't like this show very much, but I'm interested to see where it went.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't care. You watched 80% of it and you're not going to finish it. You're going to read the rest of it. What are you doing?
Upsettingly good take.
I mean, I feel like that is how a lot of people follow Big Brother.
Yeah.
Those people
She specifically said, though, she doesn't do that with Survivor. And I assume other similar.
Well,
I think that's how Shannon followed Big Brother.
Hey, no, Rob wanted to not do that last recap. I fought for the last recap. For Survivor, if you can't get through the 26 days, how are the players meant to? So it's good that she doesn't do that for Survivor. But I agree, 80%. Yeah, you are in for a penny. Like, come on. So as soon as he said that Taryn said she was a monster, I knew he was going to that.
I'm hearing a lot of like not seeing a show through from someone who stopped watching The Traitors, Taryn.
Did I get 80% through? No.
Fair.
Also, did I read recaps of it after? No.
Taryn's all in or all out. He's not half-assing this.
I think Jess will be fine early. I think that she talked about really liking Kenzie, so hopefully that will be
who's in her starting tribe.
Actually, I love her.
Exactly, which is in her starting tribe. So I'm hoping that will be a good landing spot for her. And then also, I mean, in addition to Owen's point about rugby, she also talks about going to the gym and learning swimming and doing a lot of physical things to prepare. She also, I think her husband like printed out puzzles and stuff for her. So we love a prepared queen. And I think that as long as maybe some of those potentially like initial issues with creating bonds can go away, then I think she'll be okay. And I think she's someone also in this new era. I know we're all focusing, myself included, on like the sparkly people, but almost could be a curse, because when you when you can sense that someone is a sparkly person, you want to get them out before you can get to the end. So you're looking for someone who is social, but maybe not the most overly charismatic. And I think she fits that bill just perfully.
Yeah.
She'll be fine. She can bond over talking about the first 80% of various movies she's watched.
Can you imagine? It's like, what about the end? You'd be like, well, she could be like, I read about it.
Yeah.
So at least she would be in the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, that would be good for what, like Game of Thrones? Isn't that's how people feel something like lost?
If you did that for Game of Thrones, you came out ahead.
Yeah,
there's a lot of shows. A lot of shows that saved her a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah,
just by her
you beat the casino there.
She might need to be on the right side.
Right. Now Shannon's onto something. I think Jess got the right idea.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. there is Jess.
I remember
Okay.
she spoke about she was on the penultimate episode of Succession. Imagine going through all of Survivor, not knowing how that ends. Like,
Okay.
Wild.
yeah,
All right.
read about it.
So maybe that's why. Is that what she did with Survivor 43? Is that why Owen likes her so much?
Okay, leave Owen alone.
I thought that was going in Owen's
why is
direction.
my guy catching strays, Rob?
Like,
Keep
bruh.
that energy for this cast, not the other one.
Look, at Survivor's like. That's why they come to the chat. They want it to be
Leave-
like a roast.
Owen is family. He is not a survivor. He is an RHP patron and a long-time listener. Don't do that. Don't disrespect
Everyone loves
Owen.
to get roasted.
Okay.
I
All
enjoy
right.
it every time I come here to this draft. Love it.
Same. Look at all those sad
See?
feet.
Yeah, he clearly
Come on,
wants to
Rob.
be
You
roasted,
made it
Rob.
Rob, you suck.
You need to
I'm
leave.
15 sad
Get
face.
out. Boo.
You made Owen sad. No one makes
Chappelle,
Owen sad.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Jess may not have been part of your two, but I know the other one is, and I know you're gonna pick him right now.
Yeah.
Puya, give it up.
I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know
What
anymore,
up,
Puya.
Shannon?
Yeah, no, I would be lying if I said I was still on track of my list is now in shambles. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's
And I can make that joke, by the way, because people listen to 0.1% of my podcast and then write about it on the internet. So
okay. Stop it. Stop
Yeah,
it. Stop
headline.
it. We're not about to feel bad for you, Rob.
Rob
You
and
made-
Owen in
I wish that they would listen to 80% of the
Rob
podcast
farming
before
sympathy
they
right now.
Rob's like,
before
"Oh
they
my
start making
God."
comments.
Oh my God, everybody hates me. Rob,
I'm
stop
gonna
it.
give
You
the
picked
show
Owen.
0 earbuds.
Mhm. Okay. Chappelle.
All right.
Chappelle got on the
This-
board with Jem in round 1.
Yeah, and I felt really good about Jim, but this is a game time decision. So I just throw the list away, ball it up, throw it away. This is just based off of the commentary I've been hearing. A lot of people has been talking about which tribes will be bad, who's going to survive these tribes, and this person's name has come up multiple times. I told you, I'm here to not draft the grenade. I love the interview that they did with Mike. It felt like Mike had just run into his best friend that he had known forever. I could listen to that for days. I didn't know what they were talking about, but you could tell they loved it a lot. If Amon Adwin ever played Survivor, I think this is what it's going to look like. I'm going for Tevin.
Oh my
Yes!
god!
Yes!
Oh my
Yeah.
god! I was like, oh my god, is Tevin gonna
No,
fall to
no,
me at the
No.
at the 11th
No.
pick?
I know.
It was
Tevin-
wild, man.
It was
That
so
she,
close.
I didn't
It was
expect
so
him to
close.
be
It
here as an
almost
option.
happened.
Yeah,
It almost
Tevin has
happened.
I
He has
thought
been
it was-
climbing my list the whole time. Every time I'm like, well, maybe I should move
no.
Tevin up.
You started
Maybe I
talking
should
about the
move Tevin up.
disaster tribe. I'm like,
No,
oh wait,
he's,
is this gonna happen?
Steal at
Yeah.
10th is nuts. Yeah.
I know. It's a
Yeah.
real steal.
I dare to dream.
Oh my gosh.
This
I'm
is who
shocked
I
he
thought
felt this
Puyo
low.
was talking about.
No, it was between Jess and Tevin for me. It was, honestly.
Yeah, mine was between Tevin and somebody
I'm in
else. But
pain.
yes.
Yeah.
Throw the list away. Again, for me, I looked at the Orange Tribe as potentially a disaster. But since y'all talking about it now, I'm like, okay, remember Green Tribe is the one
I
should look at.
didn't.
No.
Oranges feel solid to me.
See, and I was like, anyway, so I was waffling on that. I knew one of these tribes might be in trouble, but I feel like regardless of if this tribe is in trouble, based on all my esteemed colleagues here, Tevin is the one who is cooking. Okay, they're talking about, oh yeah, like it looks like Venus probably going to have Tevin's back. Soda's probably going to have Tevin's back. I'm like, and Tevin don't need nobody to have Tevin's back because Tevin gonna cook. And so I'm very excited. I'm happy. I still have one other sleeper pick maybe on the board that I kind of like, but
And I hope you get them, Chappelle. I hope you
I
get
can't
them.
believe I
they
got
brought
Tevin.
Tevin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Amon comparison.
It just reminded me
Yeah.
of my guy. Okay, I love Amon, and so and I thought Amon might have been.
But
you know,
Amon
off-playing
can do all
Survivor.
what Tevin does, where he could be super silly, but then also like switch to like gravitas, like and
Absolutely.
be like
Mhm.
very like serious, and you're like hanging on his every word.
Absolutely, I was
Mhm.
enthralled, and I had no clue what the hell Mike and him were talking about. They started naming people and plays and all this other stuff, and I was like, I don't care. I would never vote out Tevin. Are you crazy? So yeah, this is I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm trying to read his interview with Mike, and they just like start talking. They just got
Yeah.
into a separate conversation.
It's not an interview. It's a private conversation that got published online, it feels like.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
And I
incredible.
voyeuristically listened to the entire thing like a creep.
This is
That's the
Watching-
name of Aaron's podcast.
Yeah. That's what we
Comes
do.
full circle.
Yes.
This is too good a pick, and I'm so upset. Tevin, like probably a top 3 pick for me.
I was gonna take him at number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kenzie and Tevin, I think I would have been between. He's Mike's winner pick. Mike met them all, so I feel like
But how many has Mike got right? I love Tevin for the record, but let's not act like Mike is the messiah of the.
Okay, y'all
I
coming
think
for Owen and then Mike is not okay with me. I am not okay with this. I will leave.
Yeah,
I love
I'm ready
Mike,
to
but
fight.
let's not, I give him
Yeah.
praise for his interview skills, draft picks. I don't know.
I guess
No, it's just
that-
more that he was
Yeah.
out there, like to be out there in Fiji and meet them. Like there's something you get from that. He
For
knows
me-
the sparkle. He's-
I would
true.
say that why I don't have Tevin number one is that I wonder that is it almost like where we talk about the Caleb thing, where is it
Too
too
shiny?
obvious? Is it too
Yeah.
obvious that okay?
It
Can I
is.
break
Can't
some
let
news
him get to the
here?
end. Yes.
So in the corner of my eye, so I got a text from Mike Bloom, and he said in all caps, and I'm quoting, "Bitch, I had jam."
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
You and me both, Mike. You and me both.
Drag
He's
him,
up
Mike.
He's at
drag
least as
him.
good as you.
Yeah. We're on the same level, Mike.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting that he says jam because you said Caleb. I was gonna say jam, but
Mhm.
again, sparkly person, so clearly sparkly. I love the
Mhm.
sparkly person is very much the theme of the draft, but it was so apparent, but to the point where again, I feel like it might overwhelm the clear threat level. He's so charismatic, so much fun. I don't think it's the recency bias of the fact that he was the second last interview, but I just had so much fun listening to it. I think he's going to be one of those people where you might rule him out like Jam because you think big character, like too off the wall, but then it's not like people, gravitate towards him. Ridiculous pick. And what do we pick? Pick 10 or
10.
11?
Pick
10.
10.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
He
shocked.
went in the second half of the draft, which is wild in and of itself.
Yeah.
And he so clearly is going to be a big character this season. He was the mainstay for me from the previews. And again, the 12 minutes we saw today, he's the literal narrator of the season. It feels like.
Yes.
Literally
You
from
did
the
watch
top.
12 minutes.
I
did. I fully lied because I didn't want to have people look at me sideways.
Who you watched the 12 minutes? We should all be
Rihanna
able to
watched
take
it.
advantage.
Oh,
Yeah, this
Well,
isn't. We are not all on
Content was
equal
available
playing field.
before the
Aaron,
draft.
you
It's
didn't even
on
read
you. It's on you. You wouldn't have watched it anyway. You would have been like, all right, she likes Oreos. I'm picking her. Like, that's what you were going off
No,
of
she-
here.
I
Her
would
pet
have
peeve
found
is
out more
Oreo.
about the Oreos in the 12 minutes.
That's true.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah, we'll never know.
It came out overnight Australia time. I just think I'm at a bit of
Yeah.
a disadvantage.
okay. And Rob's fact checker in the chat said Mike is great, but his recent AU winner pick flop.
Oh,
So,
mine is
we don't
still
wanna
in the
spoil
game.
it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I said mine is in the game too. Okay.
Yeah.
I
All
was,
right, Mike. Keep up.
Tevin was Mike was like 4 questions in with Tevin when he was like, "Listen, that's beautiful." Like that's the level of shine that Tevin has. That's a little dangerous, I gotta say.
Yeah.
So that was he was one of the ones that I was deciding between for my back-to-back picks, and I think the one that teeny tiny bit of hesitation with him was that like so sparkly shine, because I mean, what's not to love? I think that he is going to be able to bond with people. I think we've talked about that triad. I think he's in a great spot early. I'm just so nervous for the end game for him. Like, can he make it all the way to the end? Because I think if he sits in those chairs at the final 3, he's going to win the game. And will the other castaways allow that to happen?
I think
Okay.
also deceivingly intelligent. Like someone like Jam as well. You're like, oh, you're the fun kind of character, and then like he's done like ridiculously well in school. I
I
think
don't know.
he will
He's
surprise
giving
people.
like mastermind look in that photo though.
He's
That's- I mean,
serving.
he's serving.
Look at
He
it.
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
King.
It's a look.
He's
Yeah.
giving like I've already outsmarted you.
You see it?
Right?
Look, Tevin is.
He's giving I did it
incandescent,
34 minutes ago.
Beautiful sparks of energy and joy. Walking definition of super multifaceted talent, radiance, embodied, independent, and yet such a valuable and free-spirited person that this world needs. Those are what his friends would say about him. Dear God, I wish my friends would say any of that nice stuff about me. Let's just say me like Chappelle cool. You know what I'm saying? So
Would
I'm
they even
sorry.
say that?
No,
Mhm.
nobody would. Nobody.
Mhm.
And so I think that this is great. I think that I'm so happy with my pick, and I'm happy that you
Yeah.
all are supporting Tevin in our win.
Well, all right.
So
Well, let's put people to the test. Okay. If you have really nice things to say about Chappelle,
Don't do that.
go to recapkickback.com and let's see them in the comments of Apple Podcasts. Okay. If you do, because Chappelle thinks nobody has anything good to say about him. Okay.
Rob, you're trying to win me over because you know I'm mad at you about the Owen thing, and it's working. Recap kickback 5-star reviews only.
That's the only place he'll look for nice things to say about him. Okay. Otherwise,
Sadly.
you don't like him.
That part.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be waiting for your post, Shannon.
Can I just tell
All
you in person to
No.
go leave a review?
Mm-mm.
All right. This is interesting now. All right. There are
I know.
a lot of people. We still have 8 people left. And I feel like a little bit of it like an embarrassment of riches. I could go there's 4 folks that I'm trying to decide.
I know where Rob is going.
But the real fun would be like could I take a person Shannon wants?
Ooh.
I like that. I wanted Tevin like so much. There's no one else that I'm gonna scream.
Yeah.
Like Tevin.
Okay.
Now, but, yeah.
All right.
It's nice that you're really getting into the draft. Look at you.
I'm really getting into
Here
it.
I'm
I'm having so much fun. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with there's a couple folks that I really like, but okay, I'm gonna go with Charlie.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Charlie.
Okay. Charlie on paper, I feel like does not dazzle, but
Mean.
I feel like that's exactly the reason why I'm gonna take him. I think that Charlie is somebody who can do everything well. He seems social. He seems athletic. He knows the show. I don't think anybody's gunning for Charlie. I feel like that in his tribe, which I think could go any number of different directions, I think he seems like he will be perfectly in the middle. I feel like that maybe in this wild cast of eclectic characters, is he sort of like our just normal person with all of the wacky side characters around him? Could it be Charlie?
Yeah, I think to me this might be gonna sound like an insult, but I liked him a lot more than I thought I would when I was going through his interview. Well, I think he's even though he's 26, he does give a little bit like younger energy for me. But I think the fact that he's a marathon runner, he's used to being in uncomfortable positions, like physically uncomfortable. I think that is going to be a big part of like mentally surviving through the process of being on Survivor, just being uncomfortable and like being used to being uncomfortable. So I think that that's good for him. I also think that he's the almost most normal of everybody on the cast. And I think that that's going to work in his favor because he's not going to stand out like one way or another. And that will allow him to slide under the radar and hopefully make a deep run for Rob's sake.
Mm-hmm.
See,
make lots
he's
of
a runner.
runs. Yeah.
He chooses to run, Rob.
Him being normal is really the thing that makes him stand out to me, though. It's like you have the crazy people and they're going to team up. There's a reason why Jam, Carolyn, and Carson are together. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
You find your tribe of people. And I feel like Charlie's going to look around and be like, damn. Like, oh no, they're going to get me because they're going to see me, you know? And I feel like Charlie being young, but also kind of like reading younger, is it as bad because he is a law student? So, I mean, he's in a very grounded, like career field. But he also says he went to Harvard, he's not going to talk about it. And so I'm ready to take a shot every time that he does.
I love the idea
in
of
confessionals.
Like, everyone looking around being like, he's normal. Get him. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
He's not like us. But
Yeah.
he's also like with his Taylor Swift fandom though too. Like there's still a little bit enough of a kind of a bite, enough of a twist to him, enough of a little bit of that wackiness that hopefully he'll be able to at least bond with some of the other wackies on the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like everyone loves Taylor Swift at this point, but I feel like Rob did take Charlie trying to upset me from the Swiftie perspective.
I mean, that was only part of it.
My Eras tour.
Yeah.
So I actually took Charlie high up in my Randy Newpool draft. To be fair, I had not listened to most of the interviews at that point. And my other picks were later on. But yeah, I feel like for Charlie, I was kind of high on it because I thought he's super smart. He's athletic, like again, great on paper and a Swiftie. Gotta love that Swiftie connection. But here was my issue. Now, last draft, I talked about the merch rule, merchatory. And I said, if you have merch, you'll do well. Now, that's not a thing. Everyone has merch. Sean had merch. He quit in the preseason.
What was his merch?
I don't even know, but I just thought it was wild. He had merch. Like, isn't that crazy?
You gotta utilize your time.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta put that merch out immediately. Don't matter where you finish.
Yeah.
But my point is, Charlie doesn't have merch. So now it's like an anti-merch rule. Would a winner not have merch?
Did he have merch?
Would a lawyer know the rules that you shouldn't have merch if you're going to win $1 million?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't need merch because he's going to be wealthy.
Shannon, did D have merch? Just
I assume so, Chappelle. Sean had merch.
She like if Sean had it, everybody had it.
Yeah, that's what I think. But if you don't have it,
right?
Feels like
no. I'm kind of with you on that one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
People can also start having merch once an episode airs and they say something.
iVolcanic reminds us that Sean had the Soul Sean Viver shirt, and Sabaya wore one in her exit press. That is right.
Sabaya was wearing Soul Sean Viver in her exit press, and then the next week he quit.
Yeah, that's
think about it.
It's also an issue because like there have been Seans before you,
right? Well, I guess none of them have won, so I guess.
But Sean wasn't going.
Neither did he.
Yeah, he knew he wasn't. Okay, it's part of the bit. Liana, can I ask a favor of you and Mike Bloom? When y'all do the B&B, can y'all from now on add the like merch, the merch clause into all
predictions?
Of I'm trying to work it out.
Because I know y'all talk about it during the season, but like the preseason part, I really want to put that into my thought process now.
Okay, I just have I'm a little curious about something from Charlie because there's a question that I think is a kind of a funny one that everyone answers. What is something we would never know from looking at you? And Charlie's answer is you would never be able to tell how hard I fight for the people I love.
Oh, he's so earnest.
What do you mean by that, though? Like, what does it mean?
Look at him. He don't look like he gonna fight that hard.
Yeah.
Is he saying
looks
that
weak-willed.
he looks like somebody that would give up on the people he loves?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Is he my choice of lawyer? Maybe not.
No, he's the
Every
real
man
life
for
Mike
himself.
Ross.
You know, you look like somebody that would just bail on me in a heartbeat.
You look like a public defender.
There's
and not a
Charlie
good one.
Davis.
Maybe he's saying you would never be able to tell how hard I fight for the people I love. I don't fight that hard. Like you don't know how hard I'm gonna fight.
That is
Charlie.
fair, actually.
Yeah, you can't gauge how hard I'm.
Whatever you think it is, the amount that he would fight for the people he loves,
you'll never know.
Not right.
You'll never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, he fights for Taylor, but is he Bejeweled, which is the Taylor version of Sparkly?
Listen, I think what he's saying is that he is a fighter for his people, and I think that is a strong talent to have in Survivor. You know, like if I know, like Jim, I picked her, and she's like, I'm not playing an idol for nobody else. But we've seen people do well playing idols for other people. In fact, very well. And so maybe that's what we're gonna get, somebody who's gonna keep their alliance together no matter what. And we saw that work really well for D and Austin. So maybe we have a rematch of that.
He did say he would have a hard time cutting the people that were close to him.
Yeah,
because he fights so hard for them.
And you wouldn't be able to tell this.
Right. He's right there.
Okay. Shannon.
Yeah.
Back to you. It's been a minute since you got the pick. You picked Hunter, the number one pick on my board, certainly. But now you get to pick 2 in a row.
Can you imagine if Tevin fallen back to me? I just would have had like the team of the century.
Yeah, that would have been a dream that you'd be in.
I got so trolled that it got like so close. Can we see who's left or something? Like I can't cross people off my board. Can we?
Let's see.
Get to something.
So we could tell you who's been taken. I don't think we have a way to tell you. I guess. Okay, so let me give you an alphabetical order.
Okay.
The players that are left are Ben, Banu.
Yeah.
Doing this on the fly. Jelinski.
Cool.
Is J before L? Liz?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have Q. We have Randon, and we have Tim.
Yeah.
Now.
All right. Charlie would have been in contention for me.
Yes.
But
Chappelle, did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, I just know that Shannon hasn't drafted a woman in like 3 drafts or something. So I was just thinking this might be a
Don't warn her. You make fun of her after.
I'm just saying, if she wants to take that in consideration, I mean, maybe it's why you won't win.
I drafted all women in 44, and
like I said, 3 seasons
terrible
ago,
damage to my
your thing that doesn't matter.
Wow, that was like the worst thing you could have said.
Yeah,
this is what I said last draft. It was a bad time for the women. They voted out all the women, and I had all of the women. It was awful. I'm a part of that too. Okay, I also had to suffer. My draft suffered. Yeah. Look, they've just seen 44. They don't know there's a swap. I don't know how that plays in, but they are aware of the dialogue about women. So that
we're doing a swap again.
It's not that. It's more
Maybe.
just like if there's a possibility of a swap, I think that they have a different mindset in terms of how physical they need to be compared to like in 44 when they had never seen a new era swap. They've seen like the quasi swap in 44. Doesn't really count as much for me. They haven't seen a proper swap. So is there one woman left anyway in Liz?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with Liz.
Shannon hates women. You heard it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. There's a couple of picks here. I don't know. They're very equal for me. I don't know which one to put first for the, the technicalities.
Well, if you're picking both, just pick either.
No, it's important from a technicality standpoint. Who's on where? Who's in which round? But this is someone that I took in my Randy Newpool draft, and I didn't know because I hadn't seen the interviews, but I thought it panned out okay. I think people are low on this person because they said that they were like Shamar, but there might have been some sort of eyesight joke there. I'm going to go with Tim.
What's the joke?
I didn't think Tim was like Shamar.
Tim said he was like Shamar.
Yeah, but what's the eyesight joke?
Did he have like some problem with his eyesight?
Did Tim?
Yeah.
Did Tim? I don't think.
Here we go.
No.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This is what it is. What is something we would never know from looking at you? I've had 2 eye incidents during my lifetime.
Oh.
And then later he says, "What's the person you're most like?" And he's like, "Shamar." That's funny because Shamar's eye.
Mhm.
That's a funny joke.
Was it a joke?
Yes, it's very funny. It's one after the other in the bio.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think that's what he meant. I don't think anyone would just say Shamar
Okay.
unless he
All
was
right.
confusing him with someone else because he did say
Let's-
something about
all right.
Diane.
Let's put that aside. Let's talk about Tim.
You seemed high on Tim, Rob, when you were
Yeah, I
talking about him
think
on the
Tim is going to
podcast.
be good. I mean, I feel like that. The reason why I don't have Tim high on my draft board is that I just feel like that I don't see how Tim gets over the hump. I think that Tim is going to be a important figure in his pre-merge tribe, but unless he has the numbers, I'm concerned about Tim when he gets to the merge.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't think he'll be the grenade. He seems nice. He's not sparkly. He introduced Obama at something.
Mhm.
He seems really intelligent. He seems really likable. Like I didn't see a lot of negatives here. So I think this is pretty good on pick 12. Anyone else have different
He
things?
did get the Obama challenge coin, which is a pretty cool thing, similar to fire tokens, perhaps. I think that this is a good pick. I think that for me, there's a lot of things on paper I think look really good. Obviously, he's very physical. I think that that's going to be really
Tim
beneficial.
can swim.
He can swim. We love that. I don't know. I just felt like I was a little nervous about him forming social connections. I don't know why. That was kind of the read that I got. And I'm hoping also he does mention being a little homesick. So I'm hoping that he can kind of like get out of his own head. He also seems like someone who's like very analytical, almost too much so of like, oh, I don't want to read in front of people. I don't want to like do all these kinds of things. Hopefully, I think if that can sort of work out in the first day or two, I think he might be in a really good spot.
Well, if he's homesick and he quits, it's not the grenade. So
Tim was one of my options.
What is?
Mostly because of one of his hobbies. He said dating my wife.
Oh,
Which I thought was a
that's
great
sweet.
hobby.
That's so cute. See,
Love
that's
that
nice.
I
hobby.
love that.
But the rest of his bio is actually also fire because he says, first of all, how would your friends describe you? He says, God's child. So he's friends with Julie Chen, which is cool.
A child of God. Yes.
Yeah. And then
Innocent.
also he was asked, what is the accomplishment you're most proud of? He proceeded to list 12 of them.
Love it.
Yep. Because he was cooking.
Survivor called me back. Like, yeah, they really called you back. You're here now.
He was most
Survivor.
proud of 12 different accomplishments. Yes. It was,
He was cooking.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making it to 30 as an African American male, traveled to several continents.
Listen,
home
it's
owner.
hard. Done that hard. Hard as hell. I liked him a lot. I love anytime a black person comes on the show and is like, I can swim, because we have seen historically we will be put into this other box where we can't swim. And then sometimes we can't swim. And so I was like, cool, bet he can swim. That's going to be one obstacle we don't have to worry about this season. I keep always, was it the Mike from Survivor Samoa who was like, I didn't think Jason was Afro-Americans who were great swimmers or something like that. Like, that's the kind of thing that sticks out in my head when I think of Survivor and black folks swimming. So I was like, okay, Tim, we breaking down these barriers. But for me, it was just the idea.
now you know, Barassi.
Yeah, the mean motor scooter. That's who it was. So, but here's the thing, and he was
Was he
wrong then.
grenaded, Shannon, by the way?
Yeah, no, because he wasn't. We're not doing this.
Okay.
Anyway,
Was he a medical quit? Was he a
even then,
medevac?
Jason was cooking, and so that's what I'm expecting to see from Tim. The only reason I didn't pick Tim was because I had to pick Tevin. I'm sorry. And so
Okay,
I
good.
think that I'm sorry. It was Tim or Tevin. Those was my
Yeah,
two. So
that's fair.
I'm sorry. I was hoping that I could get Tim on the backswing.
Okay, good.
But Shannon, I think it's a great pick.
Thank you,
Mike Bloom
Chappelle.
just blew my mind because he said the list of accomplishments was an acrostic, which is true. It spells out accomplishment.
Awesome.
Wait, pause.
Oh my God.
What does that
stop
mean?
it.
No, it
Stop
doesn't.
Amazing.
But it doesn't spell out
It
accomplishment.
means
No, I didn't say mint. I said
the
mint.
first word. Have the first letter of every sentence. It spells a word straight down.
So like,
I was wondering why
like
various
Clay.
accomplishments were Carter Cooper.
well,
I
those
think
are
there's
It's
always
missing an
the
E and an
acrostic.
N though.
Yeah, where's the
it's
accomplishment?
not.
He
It's
went.
not a perfect one.
Okay.
He went. I would say about 80% there, and then bailed on the rest.
Well,
Relatable
I mean,
content.
read the
Relatable
recap.
content.
How long did it take for him to do that? Because if he did it off the top of his head, he's amazing. He wins the game. But if he had to sit down and be like, okay, Mike, hold on. Carter.
Well,
Carter
I
and
think that
Cooper,
was a written
okay?
one, right? I don't think that
Yeah.
that he
This
didn't
is a
do that
written
off
bio,
his
yeah.
dome to Mike Bloom.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Okay, cool. So he sent this in. Okay. So
I believe so.
that's-
Mike, can you confirm that? Because
that's
I feel
the
like that he doesn't have Mike Bloom's questions
No, of
ahead
course.
of time.
This is the bio. But
So,
why is there no E and N? Do you think that CBS
It was
deleted it, not
hard.
realizing it was a poem?
Maybe it was
Ooh.
on two different lines. So it's like it was like he ran out of space, and then when they formatted it across, it didn't do
Thanks.
acrostic things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, if he did take the time to do that and it was not prompted and it wasn't in front of Mike Bloom on the fly, then it's a minor deduction and I have to take off points. But if
Yes.
he did
Mike
it
Bloom says
right in
these
my
answers
face,
are from them
yeah.
filling out their application.
Then
Minor
absolutely
No
deduction.
not.
one thought he gave
Absolutely
Mike
not.
a verbal acrostic poem. I mean, that would have been ridiculous.
The fact
even
that he
without the
gave
E and
Mike
the
an
N.
acrostic poem in general is ridiculous, Shannon. Let's not height of
What-
things here.
What do you think the E and the N were that were cruelly taken from us? I just don't understand where.
Let me go look at it again. There isn't not
Okay.
seeing it. Nope.
All
Got
right.
nothing.
Here's Tim. Anything else on Tim?
The acrostic poem thing, I don't know if that makes it terrible or good, but I kind of love it.
That
I
part.
love it.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
It's
the nickname
memorable.
Spice is also amazing. So
Love it.
that in and of
Tim?
itself.
The fact that
Yeah.
Mike had to come in from the chat and be like, it's an acrostic poem, you idiots, and none of us got it. We're just like reading his 12 accomplishments.
What was we supposed to do, Mike? Hell, we didn't know Tim. Tim the
Thank
first
you.
person to ever do this. Well, he probably not. They probably do this every year and we just don't catch it because we not
Wow.
Can
tapped
we go
in.
back? Is
Mind
someone,
blown.
is someone volunteering to go back for all of that?
All right. Shannon, but you get 2 picks here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy
Not
having 2 picks on
just-
this side, not the other side.
Tim.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Okay. You know, I don't know that anyone left is in my like top tier, but I still think there's some okay picks, and it might be a bit of a sneaky pick. I don't know if it was someone that people were going to go with, but I'm going to go with Q.
Okay. Yeah, Q is a fascinating pick. I had him pretty high up on my board. I have him at number 6 on my list.
Oh, good.
But I couldn't pull the trigger when I got to him.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
I just feel like, is anybody gonna let him win?
No, I think
they
there's a
gonna
lot
let
of
him
red
win?
flags with Tim. No,
Yeah.
they're not. I mean, with Q, they're not going to do this. They're not going to let him win, because he screams competitor. I think everything about him is like, look at me. I came here to play this game, and I don't think he can hide it. I think that the way he's giving me big Bruce vibes. You know, like he's like, I will never throw a challenge ever, like ever. There's never a
Everyone
reason
says
to throw a
that.
challenge. I'm like. But Shannon, we have talked about this ad nauseum. There are definitely times where it's okay and better strategy to throw the challenge. If you're missing out on opportunities like that because you're so rigid, I don't think you are going to have what it takes to get through some of these more complicated parts. I wanted to pick Q so bad, but I just feel like the red flags are just like boom, 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 right in my face. He said he basically wants to try to like win out at some point. Like once I get down to 8, it's a wrap. And I'm thinking, well, who would let you do that? The first time you mess up, you're gone. And you shouldn't be in a position like that to where you're that comfortable like Bruce and you don't win and you don't play your idol.
For me, I really, I feel like that Q is going to go far, but I found myself liking people that are aligned with Q more than Q himself.
I like Q a lot. I just hope that he does not get so
I don't
cocky
mean
in the game.
like him personally. I'm sure he's
No,
a wonderful person.
He's a wonderful person. Yeah.
But in terms
this
of
game,
like being the winner, I feel like that maybe it's somebody who is working with Q more than it's Q himself.
Well, he's not going to be the grenade.
no,
He's probably going to be
You
pretty
would
good
not
for my
think so.
average draft placement.
He
And
says
Yeah.
He says in his bio that he can eat 2 boxes of pizza in one sitting by himself.
Is that his
How big's the
hobby?
box?
What size? Is medium?
Well,
Well,
yeah, because
this
I
is
will
the
say
thing. If it's
challenge
medium,
accepted.
don't even say it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
No,
No
what are
larger,
you
fair.
go
doing?
home.
It has to be
Right.
large.
Or higher.
This is literally, I have to plan my whole day around eating 5 slices of pizza. Like,
Oh,
this is an accomplishment. Okay, this should be in his proudest accomplishments. 2
But
boxes.
How do you plan
That's a
your
weird
day
thing.
around
In fairness to Q, it's very easy to do an acrostic for his name.
And yet he still chose not to. So
Well, because accomplishment's not his name. So but y'all, listen, I just feel like it giving off too much of like, I'm here to win the game. And I don't
Yeah.
let that person win. Like I think D gave off that energy too, but D
Yeah.
had this alliance that was never going to flip on her.
Well,
Yeah.
Chappelle,
I feel
the
like
one,
she's flippable.
the thing for me is though, at some point it's gonna flip back around. But
Yeah.
they didn't see Survivor 45 still, so I still think it's a couple more seasons before the obvious person to win goes back to winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
'Cause
probably
they're so when they start going after the people that it's so obvious they're not gonna win, we have to take them out.
That's true.
So- a couple of things about Q. He's from a family of 17 people, of 17 siblings, 17
He's like
kids.
fourth or third in that
Fourth,
whole
yeah.
lineage.
fourth.
The survivor cast is smaller than his family. That's got to be helpful.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like in these small tribes, that's going to be almost alien to him. That's like a third of his family. So I thought that was just so interesting. He's the first letter name. I guess we just had D. What if we keep going?
D does not go by the letter D. She's
She
Yeah.
goes by
D.
D though, but imagine if we do. It would just be cool. From a trivia perspective, I hope he doesn't tell people how wealthy and successful he is. What did he say on the interview that like, he's like, I could stay home and make $1 million in this time? And I was like, well, don't say that.
Well,
out
he's
there.
a real estate person. He makes a lot of money doing that. But I think he said he's going to talk about his past career as an athlete a little bit more. But even then, I'm like, having professional athlete as your backup plan for occupation, I'm like, Q, do something else, please.
Yeah, I can't
Why
tell
doesn't he
people
say
how
he's
much
a-
money I make, so I'll have to lie and tell them
I
I'm
was
a professional
football
athlete.
player.
Yeah.
I will say,
I love
I'm
it.
not sure there's anybody that's done well on Survivor that's talked about like, oh, I make a lot of money, guys.
Well, he's
Like,
not, hopefully we won't
so-
tell him that. Why can't he
Yeah.
just say he's like an average real estate agent? Like, yeah, I'm okay. Sell a house or two.
No,
Like,
no, he's not going to say that. He's either going to say that, like, nah, I'm that guy, or he's not going to say it at all.
See, I feel
how
like-
many people of these 18 are lying about their profession? Like, I truly think it's across the board. I think
I
it's
just
100%.
assume everybody at this point is
Yeah.
and will because
Yeah.
it's like they'll just change it to like a smaller version of what they already do or something different, like a secondary thing, a job they used to do. My thing with Q Shannon, because when I saw one of 17, I thought, oh my God, he's literally lived being in a big, like under a big
Yes.
roof like this. The thing though, is that I feel like when you're in a big family like that, you're either going to be the patient one who's like, oh, y'all go ahead, I'll wait my turn, or you're fighting for that opportunity at every shot. He's a fighter. He is competitive. He said he doesn't like losing. I feel like in Survivor, you have to be willing to take 1 or 2 L's along the way. You can't have win coast to coast from like day one. Not many can say they've had that. And I feel like I want to see how he does in moments of loss. I want to see how he does in moments where he's defeated. Can he pull up back up, or is that going to be bad energy for him and then cause him bad fortune in the game? So I'm a little bit worried about Q, but also we're at the 13th pick. So what else can I say? It's not like you picked him first.
You think it'd be good practice to say like, listen, to all the siblings, let's start voting
play.
people out of the family.
Yeah.
See who lasts. See
yeah.
who survives.
Yeah. Play a little mini or something, you know?
I mean, they probably already do that for fun.
They don't.
No, I'm talking deadly stakes though. Like they're out.
Yeah, like he means out of the family
Like
for sure.
banished
Good.
from the family. No
Yeah.
Christmas for you. Get
Don't
out.
come back until
Oh
you
my
find the
God.
avatar. Yeah, something like that. So here's, I know it sounds like I'm being hard on Q. It's just because I really wanted this for Q. When I was looking at Q's bio, Q seems like the nicest person. Like I'm like a nice human. I love when they win the game. And then I was like, but bruh, I can already see. And like I said, I got the PTSD from Bruce last season because boy, why didn't you play that? I know. So I'm just like, Q.
Still recovering, Chappelle.
To this day, Bruce, if you listen to this, send me that in the mail. You don't deserve it.
I had a similar read to Chappelle. Q and I share the same birthday, so I really wanted to root for him. He has a lot of passion, a lot of energy, but I just, oh my gosh, I just think he's going to overplay. Like that's what I can see, just coming in too intense. He did mention that he needs to look for his shield, so I love that he recognizes that. But who's going to be his shield?
Nobody.
maybe. Other than that, I'm just like, who on this cast is going to be a shield for him, which is another reason why I'm a bit nervous. But come on,
Okay.
March, let's do this.
I think
Would
so.
love
He's
to be
our
wrong.
fourth letter name. So it could go. There's a spectrum
We've
from
done-
B to J to D T1. Where
Again,
will
I feel
Q-
like you're closer
You're-
with Jay Maya than you are with D from that season. Even.
Mm-hmm.
well, there was two in that tribe. Even this is
I
really
give you BB before B. I mean,
Yes,
B was,
BB.
yeah.
BB. Okay.
BB at least is initials. Okay.
I'm trying to think
All
if
right.
there's any letters I'm missing. Nope, that's it. Go Q.
Okay.
My team is complete.
All
Thanks,
right.
Asia.
There's Q. All right. So comes back to me, and I'm kind of happy with how this played out.
Did an X win? Wasn't there an X who won Big Brother?
Hey,
But that's not
stop it.
Survivor.
Name's Xavier.
And his name's
name is
Xavier.
But did he go by X or no?
I mean, I guess
Kind of.
a little bit.
Shannon,
It was like
stick
back
to
and
the rivers
forth.
and the lakes that you're used to. Please stop this.
I was just going through the alphabet in my head, and I was like, I think we've
There's no
had-
W. Stop chasing waterfalls.
That part.
Yeah. Okay. So, there are 5 people left, and I don't know what the reaction from the panel is going to be, but I'm excited to go ahead and take maybe a pick. Let's see what the panel feels when I go with Liz. Give me the fresh princess of email marketing. Liz.
Okay.
Okay. How are
Come
we
on,
feeling?
food allergies.
Yes.
Let's go.
I think that Liz is going to be a fun character no matter what. And I had for me, it was between Liz and one other person to take here with this spot,
You
and
can
I'll
say
tell you who
who.
that was. Yeah, I'll tell you who it was. I don't want to put my thumb on the scale for the next 4 picks, but I'll tell you when they come up. But to me, I feel like that Liz is excited to be there, that she is like at a good age, I think, to come in and take this seriously. And maybe I'm putting way too much stock in this, but I love her occupation for this because as an email marketer, she's all about figuring out what is it that people want to hear. What does my audience want? And I feel like that in the game of Survivor, could there be a better skill to have than the ability to try to be guessing what type of email or conversation is somebody most likely to respond to?
Maybe like their marketing emails that they get. I'm always just
Maybe
like,
hers are good.
Subscribe, you know.
Maybe people are like just vibing, and she's out here getting it done.
He's gonna be like, have you heard of the new vote plan? We've got a new vote plan. It's gonna be really great. There's
I got one simple trick for you to getting to the
very
end.
small, hard to find unsubscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. If you want to vote her out, it's actually quite difficult to do
Yeah.
so because it's going to take a
Mhm.
couple days, for that to be processed and all of that.
Are you
if
sure
it's
you
even
want to
done, but-
unsubscribe? Yeah.
Are you sure?
She's gonna do the thing where it's like, listen, you are unsubscribing, but only to this particular style of
Mhm.
conversation that I have with you,
Mhm.
and you can't get to the all unsubscribe from this button.
It's all about
Look,
your preferences.
and maybe it's too soon from Carolyn getting to the end, and maybe there'll be like a little bit more of a focus on her, but it's the new era, and I'm looking for people that are going to be like a little bit hidden. It's a little bit unsuspecting, and maybe at the beginning on day 1, you're not looking at Liz as somebody who's going to get to the end. And then she's probably the person that maybe you're least worried about, as we talked about the triad back on her tribe, that she is somebody who was had vibes with Tevin and with Soda, and she's in a good landing spot. She's somebody who I don't think that people are worried about. She seems like she's got some tenacity, and I like her job. And I feel like here at the end of the draft, I'm loving this pick. Give me Liz.
She talks about being a quick decision maker, which I really like, especially in a shorter season. One of the things she talked about for risks she's taken, she said there was a moment in my marriage when I knew it wouldn't work, and I just decided to leave. I just left. And like
Pretty
That's
good.
a marriage. Like that's a big decision. I think that's huge. I think the willingness to just like jump out into nothingness with no support is a really underrated skill, especially for a game like this where people will manipulate you through making you feel comfortable. Don't go out into the unknown because this is what's good. This is safe. It sounds like she's willing to take risks in a way that's not just like I play the lottery, but in a way that's like I'm willing to actually like go out there and be like put myself out on a limb and try to make something happen, which I think is cool.
She feels like she's gonna steal the show. Like we're gonna be like, oh yeah, like we don't know about Liz. I don't know how she's gonna do, but then the camera's gonna love her. Like we're gonna get all the quips and we're gonna get all like by the merge. We're like, can she do it? Can Liz actually pull this off? You know, like that, like bro, we're gonna be behind her 100% because it's just a good energy coming from her. So I don't hate the pick, Rob.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the elephant in the room.
What's the elephant in the room?
Food allergies.
Elephant. That's what he
Food
should have put there.
allergies.
Food
Yeah.
allergies.
Okay. So, I mean, is she allergic to any of the Survivor foods?
Yes, coconut. Really
Coconut.
hard.
Yeah.
Very,
That's
very
such,
tough.
Right.
That's gonna suck. Yeah.
As someone who's married to someone with a lot of food intolerances, I'm like, she's gonna die.
This is perfect though, because she can just give her coconuts to Q and he can eat 2 of them.
And
They're not on the same tribe. Yeah.
if she gets May back, she won't be the grenade. That is right. So
Mhm.
that's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that'll be really, really hard. As if like the incredibly like barren new era isn't, hard enough.
Well,
think
I
from
mean,
a
what
food
she
perspective,
says
it's
is
tough.
that she's very used to not being able to eat the same foods that other people can eat. So I don't think that like not being able to have coconut is going to ultimately be the difference maker against her.
But like think about it. So like what if they're making like coconut rice? That they can't
Yeah.
for her. So now she's like imposing, like having the tribe
Have to
having to have
separate
diet
batch it.
requirements is hard. Like even
Mhm.
from I don't know how bad her allergies are, but like from a pot perspective, the fact that you can't like sanitize or even like separate out the cooking equipment.
I mean,
just
does
think
she have
it's
like a
very tough.
deathly allergy to the coconut?
She
where
said
it's the
she
same
can't
thing?
handle them. She said I can't even handle it. If someone needs a coconut open, I'm just gonna walk away because I can't do anything for them.
Yeah. And even if it just makes her feel worse for wear, that's tough to play Survivor when you already feel so bad.
I'll
Now
risk
it feels
it
worse.
here in round 3
This was a
on the
big red
coconut
flag for
allergy.
me.
It's a big
Yeah.
allergy though. It really is.
Then she had more than that. Like her food allergies seemed like really tough.
Well, she said
Yeah.
that day they gave them a meal and it had tomatoes on it, so she just had lettuce for lunch.
Yeah.
Because that means even the reward challenges will suck for her. Because like that's one thing that I've always I am very picky. I have my allergies as well. I get it, Liz. And I've watched Survivor and I know there's certain like the prize is an ice cream bar. I'm like, bro, what am I gonna do with that? Like we're having shrimp, can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So the moment
It's an
that- and
opportunity to
coconut.
give it to another person.
Like she's gonna
She's gonna
starve in the
waste away.
meantime, Taryn.
And Shannon, I mean, the good news here is that Andrew points out in the chat, if she's medevac, that doesn't
Yes, it
count
does.
as the grenade. So that's like a freebie for me.
Yeah. Well, you are playing for
Freebie.
Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing.
Does
Oh,
make
you're
sense.
playing for
Uh-oh.
Asia. That's bad. That's bad.
I'm playing for me.
Yeah, if he
Are
wins, it's
you-
his win. It's not Asia winning too.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
be
no one
clear.
thinks it.
The
No
curse
one thinks- I
doesn't
just-
transfer.
Okay, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's true
what
as
I'm
well.
saying. That's why I don't think that there'll be a medivac. Do
I'm
they
playing
cater
in
for dietary
lieu of
requirements?
Asia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's less about Rob winning and more about Shannon losing. So Rob, I respect the pick.
Mhm.
It's crazy
Okay.
how much I live rent free in all of your heads.
Shannon, no, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You literally just think, how can I make Shannon lose? Like, I don't
Today.
think about you at all.
We don't have
That's a
to.
lie.
You
That's-
decide that for
So
yourself.
that's not true.
Check your tweets. Check
Mhm.
my text.
Yeah.
Google
Check
me,
the,
baby.
check the first 10 minutes of this podcast.
Right.
I can't
So
help
let's
the
start with
truth
Chappelle
that
and the
Chappelle
grenade.
wants the grenade all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
I don't know what kind
Chappelle,
of bet he has about him being the grenade, but I'm pretty
It's
sure
not-
there's some
it's not
match
a
fixing
ga-
going
it's
on.
not-
There are 4 picks left.
Hmm.
Chappelle.
Oh, this is hard.
Who's going to round out your team? Chappelle on his team has, in my mind, one of the strongest teams here on the board. Has 2 people that were in my top 5 in Tevin and Jem.
Yeah, I almost made a good run for it. If I had gotten that Tim, if I had backdoored and got the Tim, I'd been sitting pretty. I would have been so happy. But I did not. And so now this makes this very tough because these people are low on my list for different reasons. So it's like each of them, I'm like, but I'm gonna go with I want to make sure I pronounce this right. Banu?
Banu. Okay.
Yes. This is the world's happiest person, not named Marianne or Chappelle. So I gotta go with this one. He's fit. He's also like the most passionate person about Survivor that I've ever seen. You know, like I became a citizen and applied for Survivor the same day. That's the type of energy I want from somebody playing Survivor. Like they're here to win the game. They want to play. Like I don't like this idea that I'm gonna come out here, figure things out. Like, bro, just go out there, give it your all. We can't hate that. Hopefully he has like some game. I don't know about that, and that's why he's so low on my list. But I do like the energy, and so that's why I'm going with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, I didn't really get a sense of exactly how he was going to play the game, except for with enthusiasm, because that was everything that he was giving. He was just so much energy, so intense, so happy to be there, loves on fire with Jeff Probst, like loves, like loves all these things. I don't really know what he's going to do out there on the island, but he's happy to be there. So
is enthusiasm alone enough to get it done for Banu?
Exactly. Will that propel him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, the red flag is like too pure for the game.
Yeah.
Can he make the necessary moves? Like Marianne, sunshine personified, but she cut Omar, and I remind her of that all the time. Can Banu do that? I don't think so, but he does seem like one of the loveliest people alive. Like truly, I will enjoy watching him, and I think he'll go far. I think he's the perfect ally to have. I think someone should scoop him up and take him very, very far. So I don't think somehow he'll be the grenade, even if Chappelle offers it.
Are you sure that you could tell Banu the plan and he's not going to, he's going to keep it a secret and then he's going to go to tribal council and then write somebody's name down? Are you feel confident about that?
Keith Nail energy?
I don't know if Keith Nail is the right person.
He
but I
needs
just feel like
Keith Nail to get him to stick to the plan.
Yeah, I feel like that he seems like too much. Like, is he going to be able to be cutthroat enough to go and keep the blind side?
I don't see it.
I think so. Well, I think he could be a part of it.
Yeah,
like there's the SNL sketch about I think is it Penelope? They can't tell her the surprise. She wants to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah,
I feel like he might surprise you in that regard. I don't know. I feel like the very happy, like bubbly people are often a lot more capable of like cutting your throat while smiling than you might think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that edge to him, but I do know this. If you let him get to the end with you, you're crazy. You're absolutely insane. Yeah. Because why would I not vote for him? I'm sorry. The most positive energy just sat next to me. I'm going to give him the vote. So I don't see him winning the game, but I just want to watch him do well, you know. And so that's why I went with them. But I have to admit he was low on my draft board.
You carry him to like a 7.
Yeah, like a 7.
Okay. That'll be good for your average draft placement.
Is that my average draft placement?
That'll be good. It'll help you. It'll help you keep up with me.
Help you in a thing that doesn't matter.
That'll be good for your average draft position. Sounded very menacing.
It did. Like almost like draft position is a thing that we count here on this winner take all draft.
It's just because last time we were on the draft, we were saying that Chappelle and I tied, and actually it was a clerical error. And I was actually ahead, and now I'm like insanely ahead. So.
Well, some of us really focus on winning. And so we don't keep up with the math.
Winning is different to every person.
No, winning to us, the winners, it's all the same.
Right. Shannon, don't act like you don't care about winning when you came in trying to switch rules up to get last season.
I just wanted clarity on the rules. A lot of people had questions.
None of us had questions.
Where are they?
Are the people in the room with us right now? I don't see them.
They're not in this draft because this is a draft of people who don't care about rules and order and things that matter. The audience cares. Our audience cares.
Not what I'm reading in the chat.
Yeah. Well, maybe not the chat, but I get DMs.
So. Okay.
Post the DMs.
You should know your own audience, guys. Come on. Know the people.
Okay.
The person.
I did an extensive poll of the listeners.
Did you ask them about this?
No, but nobody brought that up.
You didn't ask it. You literally didn't ask. You had the opportunity.
Okay. Puya. 3 people are left. In alphabetical order, they are Ben, they are Jelinski, and they are Randon.
Yes. Okay. So the benefit is my 18th person is not on the board still, so that's cool.
Who was it?
Who was it?
I love him to death, but it was Banu. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He's pretty low on mine too.
Yeah, I was very worried about him. I am not gonna lie to you. I genuinely did not think I was gonna have this person on my team, but hey, I'm ready to shred expectations. Give me Ben.
Yes, Ben.
Put Ben on this roster. Yes,
my
Ben was
God.
higher. Ben was like in the middle, so
Okay.
we'll take it. Yeah, we'll take those. I think Ben's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't think he's gonna be the grenade. I'm not getting grenade-y vibes off of him, or at least I'm very optimistically hoping. And anyone that can describe themselves as a cartoon character, again, I know is gonna entertain me. So I'm very much here for it. And I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what he brings to the table. A musician in an era where we're using music more on the season could only go well, right?
That's
Right?
fair.
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe.
He went really well for Sifu.
Yeah, Ben was
Wasn't the
higher.
grenade.
Maya.
Ben was higher on my
Wasn't the
draft
grenade.
pick than Banu was, but I've chickened out. It's just like I just couldn't pull the trigger. But like I said, higher than my actual pick was. So
Yeah.
I respect this pick a lot better. Puya.
Yeah, Jeff did say that there is a lot of music in this season, as
You
Puya
did in
pointed
your
out.
interview, Rob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Yeah, I don't know.
Coincidence.
yes, I don't know how many other musicians, unless they got some Taylor Swift licensing for Charlie, but Ben is a musician here.
He likes to
Mhm.
doodle and chill hard at the beach.
Karen, when you go to the beach, do you just chill or do you chill hard?
Or
Just
do you
hard.
doodle?
How do you chill hard?
Well,
That's
there's
an
chilling and
oxymoron.
there's chilling hard. No,
Yeah.
no. You can chill hard.
You chilling hard or you hardly chilling?
With
That
the
part.
point of the chilling is that you're soft. You know, like you're
Nah.
chilling.
Sometimes you just got to be hard.
If you're chilling hard, you're not chilling.
No,
Mike's not even here. What
Oh.
are
I
we
mean,
doing?
Ice
Like
is
Survivor
very hard.
Marquesas.
Yeah.
Yeah, ice is hard, Liana, and it'd be
Thank
chill.
you. It's
Yeah.
very chill. I I think for Ben, the whole cartoon character of it all is really what stood out to me. Maybe it's the overalls and the shirt as well that really
Absolutely.
adds to the caricatureness.
He's for sure peacocking in this photo.
I think, but
Hard.
I think people are gonna kind of. I mean, unless they're initially annoyed with him, I think they're gonna be like, "Oh, Ben,
Yeah.
like that's
Mhm.
classic shredding Ben," and
I
maybe
just
they'll forget about him.
this tribe that he's in, like who's his buddy here?
Let me see. Let me go look at the tribe.
I'll tell you who's on
makeup.
his tribe. It's Tim, it's Jem, it's Maria, it's Charlie, and it's Mariah. I'll give you maybe Mariah.
I was about to say Mariah's got his ear easily, and I think Charlie is a Ben Whisperer as well. I think they.
Nah, too normal.
I could see that.
No, I think
Different
that's what
type of
Charlie's.
music.
But Charlie's strength is that like he is the normal one, but he's going to be able to reel these people in. I think that's the Charlie position.
Mhm.
He's like the Jerry Seinfeld of the group.
What's with Ben?
All right.
What's the deal?
Is he chilling or is he chilling hard? Which is it? Can you chill hard?
Ice is chill.
He also a totally random thing, but he really likes the Rocky 3 soundtrack. That's my favorite Rocky movie. So
Your favorite soundtrack too?
It's I can't speak to the soundtrack as I'm not an audiophile like him, but yeah, I don't know. He just seems very like goofy and fun. And I feel like if I were out there on the island, like maybe I want to just, have like some person who's gonna be bright energy. I will say he was a little bit lower on my draft board. But I don't hate it in the position that you're in. Puya.
Also, first time he discovered music, the Power Rangers theme song.
Right. And Eye of the Tiger. Ben, it's a little nail on the head though,
Right.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
I get Sifu vibes. I feel like, did we not already, like, because he's like Jack Black in School of Rock. Did we not say that a lot about
Great
Sifu?
movie.
A lot of these players
incredible.
are carbon copies of other players we've seen before.
Well, it didn't go great for Sifu. But I do think he's fun, and I think Sifu was fun. I just feel like he's the wackiest, most standout kind of character on what I think will be the Disaster Tribe.
Mhm.
He reminds me of
That's
Cody from that season, Jesse's tag team
Yeah.
partner,
Mhm.
Cody.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I don't think you at first glance you would have thought that him and Jesse would have been a tag team. And so I think that Ben could deceptively get in good with somebody.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
There is Ben. Okay. So, all right. Interesting time in the draft. There are 2 people left. I'd say pretty decent people left for picks 17 and 18
It's a good
on the
cast.
board. They are Jelinski and they are Randon. Taryn, I feel like, has been in this position before. He will pick one, and then Liana will get the person that Taryn doesn't pick.
Have I been in this position before, or have I been in
Yeah.
this position in almost every draft?
Is this not the
Yes.
first
Usually with
time?
me. What?
All right. Well, I guess
Karen, you should let Liana choose.
the classic question, Liana, do you have a preference?
No, not really.
The hobbies are not giving me anything, so I had to dive a little deeper. All right.
Ooh, how deep did you dive?
I found something that instantly made my choice for me.
Okay. I don't
One
know
of
who
these
this is.
people is a Big Brother fan.
Okay.
Jelinski.
Mm-hmm.
So is that good or bad? Oh,
It's
so you're
good.
picking Jelinski. Oh, I thought Taryn was about to tell us. Thus, I
cannot pick
cannot
it.
pick. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like historically Big Brother fans have done better on average than not on Survivor.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the Jelinski pick. I think that I was really torn between Jelinski and Liz on my last pick. I think that Jelinski is a really smart guy. I think he wants it really bad. I think that he's coming in and is very excited and is going to play hard. I just wonder, like, is it going to be too much for people? He's a bigger physical presence. And I just feel like that I don't know how he gets over that hump where people see him coming. He's a little bit of a younger guy also, which concerns me. But I feel like he's, I think going to play really, really hard this season.
Yeah, and I don't know that you like see that immediately from him. I think he seems like fairly easy to get along with.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he has like a physical presence to him, I think that like he is very young too. So it's like I don't think you're like too worried about him as long as he gets a foot in the door, which I think is like a fine place to be down the road if he can make it that far.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he is almost like I feel like it's gonna be too hard the playing because I know he said that he grew up was he the one he said he grew up around like the casinos and stuff like that. Yeah, like his backstory was very cool, but he also read at somebody like I'm street smart and look at me, I'm street smart. Like trust me, I'm street smart. And I'm like, okay, well, there's only so much of that that's gonna happen before
The
someone's
FBI
like,
punched his mom.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? I would vote him out. I'm just saying, like that's the type of energy that I got from him. But I think it's because he's very young as well. You know what I'm saying? Like wearing that much lived experience at such a young age, I feel like that might put a target on his back. So that's why I was kind of like weary of Jelinski. But I thought he had the coolest story of everybody in the cast.
Yeah, I think that his vibe, like from afar, looks like that he might be chilling hard, but then I do think that he in like
Hardly
practice
chilling.
is probably hardly chilling. Seems like a kind of an intense person.
It feels like me and him should chill together. Just chill left
Hard
and
or
right.
soft though?
Look, chill. We just whenever he's ready, so we could kick it. Like this is my buddy. This is one of my friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like yeah. But also.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because I think he mentions wanting to work with Q, and I almost feel like that's really bad for them because the two of them together, I don't know if I were anyone else in the tribe and I see those two
Red
buddy
flags.
up, I'm like, oh
Same
man,
starting tribe too. Yeah.
Exactly. We got to get one of them out. So that's my like actual main nervousness for him is just being too much, too out there. That being said, even though he's only 22, he has a very, very intense life experience. And I think that combined with the voice, he does not necessarily
read 22.
So I think that is beneficial for him. Yeah, I'm just nervous about him hardly chilling.
I just hope he makes it to April 20th. That's all. Like if he can make it that far, I think he's done a great job in the game, and then we can chill whenever we see him at the live show in May.
I just worry that he says that he says he thinks he knows everything. So it was that kind of like overconfidence. That's the only thing that Red is very useful to me because otherwise I agree. I'm not concerned about his age. I mean, he's 22 anyway, and he has had a ridiculously storied life. So it was just that sense of it almost was like Drew to me. Now I know that I was left Drew, and then he far exceeded my expectations, and I was wrong about that. But there were the same concerns that I had then that I was wrong about, to be fair. But of like,
it reminds me of a time I was wrong.
Yeah, well, but
I think I'm right this time.
I'm having the like same like innate reaction, which is just that if you think you know everything, then like where will you learn and grow and like be adaptable?
Yeah, I said that he's like Drew crossed with Sammy from Survivor 43.
But
they
he
both did
name
well.
dropped Russell Hantz. And that's something that I like. At some point, you have to stop ignoring that. When people say Russell, you have to see Russell. And I think if they know that's in them, it's not a winning strategy, you guys. Like to be like Russell and to identify that as a part of you, it's cool. But also, you need to know that that is not somebody you're going to play like. You need to be able to temper that because that is not a winning strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe they put somebody on Survivor that said they're going to play like Russell Hantz. I thought I said that wouldn't happen.
What a villain.
I'm just saying, look, if it happens at Russell was a grown ass man when he did it. This is a baby. He's 22, you know?
Okay.
So, you know, people might not like that.
Darren, do you know any of his Big Brother takes? Do we know any of
that's
these?
a good question. Yeah. Who are his faves?
Listen, I can only read so much. Well,
yeah, I don't know if he got into his Big Brother takes. I think he said that he got into Survivor by way of Big Brother.
He's a big Hayden fan.
Bull, that's boring. Jelinski, come on.
The one that played Survivor and Big Brother.
Yeah,
well, he liked the Brigade, I guess.
Yeah,
Bull,
or liked
boring.
them enough to watch Survivor, which got him into Survivor.
Yeah,
Bull, boring.
Okay,
we need better takes.
Venus today in the interview I was listening to.
Is he like 10 when Big Brother 12 was on?
That's when these people be
He was
watching Big Brother.
Yeah.
Baby.
The fans
How old
are
were you when
babies
you
now.
started, Taryn?
I was
don't do
8.
Yeah,
It's just not that common.
Darren's not on trial here. Jelinski is.
Mhm. All
Wait,
right.
Big Brother 12 was 14 years ago. Oh my God, he was 8 too.
Oh,
The synergy.
Oh,
Twinning.
Darren.
He probably just watched it late. Like he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily.
Okay.
watching.
All right, let's talk about who Liana gets. And I'm interested to know Liana's reaction to a person that I think is a pretty interesting player. It's Randon.
I loved everything about Randon except for Randon's opinion of Randon. I was like, Randon, get it together. First of all, like the first out party that his child is going to throw for him.
So
like,
rude.
Red flag.
What
Red
is
flag.
even happening? And then the fact that, he's like, oh, I'm not going to have a good first impression. I'm going to struggle to connect with people. Oh, I'm not the strongest. I'm like, boy, get it together.
Believe in
like,
you.
please believe in yourself because I believe in you. So, I mean, I'm not mad that I ended up with him. I'm just, I
Sing,
wanted
Sugar
to
Mama.
see, I think in the way that like Liz always backs herself, I wanted Randon to back himself. And that was the biggest red flag that I had with him.
Yeah, I really liked Randon and everything that he said. I think that the concern for me and the reason why I had him lower on my draft was that, and I mentioned this with Venus, I think that he is in the starting tribe where I feel like he's a little bit frozen out. I feel like that based off of like the first impressions, we have the Tevin, Soda, Liz triad, and I feel like that Hunter ends up getting in there. And then I feel like it's a coin flip between Randon and Venus for who might be the person who's on the outs. So I'm a little more worried about Randon.
Nah, I'm worried about him because he's worried about him and his family's worried about him.
Yeah.
His kids are like, you're going to be out first, Dad. And that is not a good sign because these people know him the best. The people who know him the best are like, what are you
kids
doing?
are mean. Kids are mean.
So, but they also know him the best. And so it's like, bruh, they're warning him that like, Dad, listen, we support you, but also we're planning the party for when you come back early, if not
That's
first.
not supporting him.
Listen, exactly. They can't bring themselves to do it. I couldn't bring myself to pick him if his kids wouldn't pick him. So it's like, and then also he was talking about the players that he relates to in the past. And he's like, I couldn't believe Carolyn didn't win. I was like, I watched that season. I was very sure Carolyn wasn't going to win by the end. Like I thought but he was like, I watched the final tribal council and I thought all the votes were going her way. I was like, no, that's not what I saw. I saw Jam just running away with the game. But it's like, if that's how you view Survivor, we don't view it the same. And so I was like, all right, good luck to you. I hope you do well, but I am concerned.
Well, the one thing I liked about that moment, Chappelle, of him talking about Carolyn not winning or not getting any votes, not winning, and then Heidi, doing the fire for record time and not getting any votes, was that he clearly now recognizes the Jam game, make relationships. And I really like noticing something like that and working on something like that. And just off of listening to him speak in the conversation, I think he's a good conversation. So I think if he gets in with a couple people, has a couple good conversations, I think he's in a good spot ultimately. But Randon, for the love of God, man, believe in you. Because I think that's the number one reason why that's the number one reason why he was in my bottom 3 was because I feel like you got to dress for the job you want, right? And if you want to win, You got to come in with the energy of I could win. You got to daydream it. You can't be like, well, I'm not going to do it, but it's a fun experience all the same. No, the experience will be fun.
No.
You're here already. Win now.
You're here to win.
All right. There's Randon. Okay. All right. So that's the draft. Boy, this was fun. Okay. Let's take a look at these teams. Okay. Here we go. And we've got, all right. Here is Shannon. She got things started, and she's got Hunter, Tim, and Q.
All men.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just want to apologize to Hunter, Tim, and Q by being picked by Shannon. You're now not winning, but appreciate you all the same.
Okay. All right. Rob had the second pick overall, ends up with a team of Tiffany, Charlie, and Liz. Chappelle had a very strong start to his draft with Jem and Tevin, and then went with Banu.
Damn, Rob. Chappelle had it, and then he drafted the grenade. Thanks, Rob.
Now I need Banu.
2 out of 3. Ain't bad.
Loves the grenade.
As
No, the
Meatloaf
Bonu's
once
not the
said.
grenade.
Puya
Bro, I can't believe this.
has Venus, Jess, and Ben.
Canada.
Real.
Karen?
That's real.
Yeah.
Has Kenzie, Mariah, and Jelinski. Okay. And then Liana ends up with Maria, Stoda, and Randon. And that is your Survivor 46 draft. Someone will be grenaded, and they will be eliminated by having the first boot, and will require both of their players to make it to the final 3 and to have the winner on their tribe to come back from the grenade.
Happened before.
I didn't draft the grenade, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay. Somebody did.
Somebody did.
Somebody
Rob,
did.
it would be a bad look if you've drafted only once and you get grenaded, Rob. But I don't think you have the grenade.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
think you
worry
have the
about it.
grenade. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're all right. You're good,
Yeah.
Rob.
Double grenade on your first go?
I mean,
Ooh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I
You
won.
did- Yeah.
okay.
But never
All right.
again, Taryn. I don't make the same mistake twice, you know?
All right. So
I do.
very, very fun. Thanks to everybody who's out there. If you're in this cast, thanks for being I'm proactively thanking you for being a good sport about the fun we've had here
unthanking you
tonight.
for not telling me your pet peeve.
Message
Taryn,
time
DM your
your
pet
peeve.
Like
peeves
it
to
was
Taryn.
their choice to not
They
publish
should
that
have
question in the
preemptively
bios.
messaged me their pet peeves.
Do they
knowing it
remove
was
those
not
from the
there.
bios, or just chose not to put those out?
Well, they had
Mike
like a
could
whole
legit ask
questionnaire
them.
of like a bunch of questions, and then I think CBS
Oh, I
like picks
see.
when they want to put.
Rob,
for the
why don't
bio.
you ask in the exit interviews first question, what's your pet peeve? Then we'll
Just
have
out the
to-
gate.
just for posterity.
Yeah. Out
And
the
then
gate.
I'll reshape my draft based on those answers.
And we'll do a whole podcast dedicated to it. Agreed.
Taryn's like,
You-
this
you
is who I
reshape
would have
your
picked
draft.
first.
When you,
Okay.
they'll be out of the game at that point. They'll be
It
doing
doesn't
it.
Listen, I have integrity. I'll have to choose the person
I
with the
trust
best
you.
one, regardless of if they're out already.
I would like to hear after the season if we find out that information, what it would have been. I'd like to know the difference. So.
Yeah.
Definitive
All right.
rankings.
So let's turn our attention now towards the Survivor 46 premiere. Our coverage will officially kick off after the episode when Frannie will be my guest for the Survivor postgame show coming at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time. Then on Thursday, I'll be back with Stephen Fishback all season long for the Survivor Know-It-Alls. And then we'll have this week's exit interview. And then on Fridays, we will take your questions for the patrons of Rob Has a Podcast. And on Monday, Chappelle and I will get into everything at the end of the Survivor week, talking about all of the fun in store. So that's your week 1 plan, plus everything else in our Survivor podcast feed. Liana, that I know you kicked things off with a B&B preview.
Yeah, so Mike and I recorded the preview. There's still plenty of time to listen to that before the season starts on Wednesday. But if you missed that or don't want to listen to it, don't worry. The B&B has plenty of coverage throughout the entire season. We're going to have Izzy, speaking of Big Brother, as our first guest for the premiere. So I'm really excited about that. And then, of course, Drag Race is going strong. And then Puya and I are going to be back for Masked Singer at some point. 2 weeks, next week, whatever. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck in season 46, Liana. Taryn, what's coming up for you?
I don't know. I'll be on Twitch watching Survivor when it comes on. That'll be fun. How it works, if you haven't done it before, is you go to twitch.tv/Taryn Armstrong. You watch me watch Survivor and then have a bunch of people to chat with. It's a great time. sometimes people screenshot my reactions to things because they're silly. And then
The people
you know,
or your reactions?
what's that?
The people are silly or your reactions are silly?
Both, I guess.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's a fun time, and then you know, we'll keep it going.
Okay. All right. Puya, what else are you working on?
90 Day Fiance. We'll be back with a new episode this week. Later this week, though, myself and Jason Reed will be getting on to talk about the finale. And Rob, today I recorded the feedback show for this week's episode of the Traders with Annabelle. We had a lot of fun breaking things down. Your presence was missed, but I'm excited to get to talk to you as well on Thursday when we get back to talk about the new episode of the Traders.
Okay. All right. Check that out. And we'll be back together on 10:15 p.m. Eastern for another week of the Traders. Actually, we've been going closer to 10. So be on the lookout for us Thursday night. Also, we got to get off this podcast pretty soon because Chappelle and Jenny and I have to get together to talk about Boston Rob's brand new show. They call it Dondy. Deal or No Deal Island is kicking off tonight. So let's find out what Boston Rob has going on with the Claudia Jordan, Joe Manganiello, and the banker over on Deal or No Deal Island. So check that out in our Hit or Quit podcast feed. Chappelle, what else is coming up?
Yeah. Definitely happy to be joining y'all to talk about Deal or No Deal Island, and I suspect I'll be doing a lot more of that moving forward. It's going to be fun this season, so that's going to be great. Sasha and I are also talking about Below Deck every Wednesday here on RHAP on YouTube live, 3 p.m. Below Deck is a great time. Join the Peanut Galley and get in the chat, and then also subscribe to the Bravo Wrap-Ups feed to keep up with all of that. Rob skipped out on Nothing But Netflix this week, but I brought in Isaiah 8-Ball Bangers to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. So if you are not subscribed to Nothing But Netflix, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to
I heard
that.
it was a big mistake that it was the Airbender was a banger.
You should have been there. You should have been there. But yeah, check it out. Check it out on Nothing But Netflix. Subscribe to Nothing But Netflix wherever you get your podcast. And then, of course, subscribe to my podcast at Recap Kickback. So you can go to recapkickback.com, subscribe, leave some 5-star reviews, tell me how much you love me. And if you don't like me, still give me a 5-star review and tell me that too. But yeah, check that out. I'm talking to Mari every week about Black stuff. And so Mari and I talked about Black sitcoms, our top 5 Black sitcoms this week with our guest, Jason Reed. That will drop later on this week. You can also catch some of my other coverage, Abbott Elementary every week with Gia. It's a great time. So check that out. Recapkickback.com. Subscribe. Do all the good things. Support the community. And yeah, that's it. Follow me on Twitter at RecapKickback.
Okay, Chappelle, good luck with your draft. And then Shannon is in the midst of covering a very exciting season of Australian Survivor.
Yes, we're on week 5, about 3 weeks left. Australian Survivor exits, recap this week with Mike, talking tribal every week. And then I'm not covering the first week of Survivor 46. I'm going to do both in week 2 with my guest, Shark Burger. We're going to do 2 rounds of the Chizzy. And then I can't cover the whole season of 46. I'm going to take off here and there during Australian Survivor because it's very hectic. And then I'm away in April. So I don't know what's happening with the Chizzy on that, but I'll be back week 2 for Survivor Global to cover that for Survivor 46. It's 2-hour episodes, right? So that's like half a week of Australian Survivor. So I'm sure we can get to that in the one podcast. And that's it.
Were we going to check in this week on Australian Survivor?
Oh, and we're checking in. So I don't. Yeah, Rob and I are checking in on Australian Survivor this week. Merge week. And I have to say, I'm like Randon. I don't believe I can win. I don't feel it. I don't have that belief that I can win.
And that's why you haven't won yet.
I mean, I think I once had the belief.
It's been beaten out of you?
Yeah,
is that what?
Okay. It's definitely been.
You can do this, Shannon. 2027 is your year. I know it.
You got this.
Maybe you have to lose all hope in order to finally find what you're looking for.
You have to get to the bottom, go back to the top. I got double grenaded first. Look at me now.
Poetic.
I'm not at the bottom.
And I still won at least once. So you can do this, Shannon.
Yeah. And of course, if you haven't checked it out yet, what are you waiting for? I had I thought, very interesting interview with Jeff Probst. That's up.
Everyone's talking about it.
robisthewebsite.com. Everybody's talking about it. Got to see what they're talking about, right? So go to robisthewebsite.com/YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, switch on over if you're here on YouTube. And don't be shy with those thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Otherwise, we'll get a complex that maybe there's something wrong with us. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back with Survivor Wednesday night. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.